Ayan. Hello, good morning everybody. Can you hear me? Hello. Okay. Is it loud and clear? Okay. Okay na pala. Kasi nakikita ko na yung wave, yung parang wavelength ng voice kapag nagsasalita, no, kapag on yung audio. But anyways, maayong buntag sa tanan. Good morning everybody. Kumusta? How's everybody? Have you eaten your breakfast already? So I hope you have eaten your breakfast already. That's very important, the very important meal of the day. Sige. So let's start. We'll have a long series of discussion for this morning. Okay, so I hope you are ready, no, for this morning before this week ends. Okay, before this week ends, before our midterm. Ang dali, no? Grabe, paspas kaayo. Next week is already your midterms week. So another hustle na naman, another stressful week. The same pala yung schedule, no, yung sa major subjects na midterm examination, the same schedule. Okay? Except for the laboratory kasi I have found out na marag exhausting kayo inyuhang lab, idungan ang lecture and lab in a day. So maybe for my section sa laboratory, we'll have it on Monday kasi konti lang naman yung laboratory, no? Isa lang naman yung lab natin na topic under midterm. So we'll have that on Monday lang. Sige. So di na to siya idungan for lecture and lecture nga examination day, which is on Thursday next week. Sige. So I think mauna gid ni akong student 55 sa block AD, and we have 62 sa block B and C. Yes. Wala Japon break ang Lyceum, ma'am. No, we have a Lyceum meet, yung mental health break university-wide. Kay ang tawag is Lyceum meet. We have, it's actually a 1 week, no? A week of break. I don't know when is that. Okay, I am not sure, but it will be announced. Sige. So let's start. So kindly scan over your handouts on this presentation. We'll finish the alkali metals. Ang dami pang natirang compounds under alkali metals. So we'll continue that, and then we'll proceed to the next group of elements, the group 1B, or the coinage metals. Okay? Sige. So allow me to close my camera para smooth lang yung presentation. Okay. So please bear with me. So let us start. So we are now on the third alkali metal on the list of group 1A elements. So recalling all of them, we started with the first group 1A member, and that is hydrogen. And then followed by the alkali metal, lithium, then sodium. So now we will discuss potassium. So the same pattern, we'll go over first with the general properties of the potassium itself before proceeding to the individual properties of the different compounds under potassium. Okay, so for potassium, this is also known as kalium. Okay, or this comes from the Latin word kalium. So dito galing yung symbol ng potassium, K. It's because of its Latin term, kalium. Recall, it is the major intracellular fluid cation. Mnemonics natin dito, remember, it is PISO. Naalala? Potassium in, sodium out. Okay, and based on abundancy, ito yung mnemonics natin, di ba? Based on abundancy, sila yung major, okay, or the most abundant cellular cations, no? Cellular cations in the fluid. In the intracellular, it's potassium. In the extracellular, it is sodium. Next, In general, comparing to the sodium salts, I have mentioned that sodium salts are generally deliquescent in property, but when you compare it with the potassium salts, most of the compounds of potassium, they are lesser deliquescent in property compared to sodium salt, excuse me. Then we have this term in general that is used to describe the soluble potassium salts. These are the potash. Okay? Potash in general, soluble potassium salts. With regards to the physiological functions, so the roles of potassium, different compounds of potassium, generally these are the properties nila or their special functions in the body. Okay, so una, we have potassium ion, very important for the stabilization of proteins. Okay, that's why nakalagay dyan na for protein synthesis. Okay, so potassium ion is very important for the production of proteins, one of the macromolecule, okay, physiologically protein. Next, aside from sodium ion, si potassium, this is also one of the main blood minerals, okay? And also one of the important electrolytes essential for electrical function. Okay, kaya may nakalagay, important for impulse transmission. It plays a very critical role, a very important role in the transfer of impulses, electrical impulses, particularly in the heart, okay, in the organ of the heart. Okay, another, may nakalagay dito, diuretic. Okay, so along with sodium, si potassium also regulates water balance. And also, it regulates acid-base balance. Okay, particularly acid-base balance in the blood, acid-base balance in the tissues. Then, in relation also to the function of potassium ion with regards to its involvement sa impulse transmission, in relation to that, meron din tayong mga potassium ion that is very important to generate muscle contraction, particularly skeletal muscle contraction. Okay? Skeletal muscle contraction. So may mga potassium ion that helps generate, okay, muscle contractions. Specifically, skeletal muscle, skeletal smooth muscles. Okay, skeletal smooth muscles. Okay, and lastly, potassium ion is also important as a cofactor. Susulat nyo, meron tayong mga potassium ion that is used as cofactor. When you say cofactor, these are activators of enzymes. When you say enzymes, biologically, these are catalysts. Okay, these are catalysts. Okay, when you say catalysts, these are very important to facilitate chemical reaction. Okay, that's the importance of catalysts. So enzymes in general, these are biological catalysts. Now there are certain enzymes, okay, that are not activated, or let's say inactive pa sila, okay, kapag walang cofactor. Okay, I repeat, there are certain enzymes, lists of enzymes na kailangan pa ng activator. Okay, kailangan pa nila ng activator kasi in the first place, inactive pa sila. So para magkaroon sila ng silbi, kailangan pa sila i-activate. Okay, so dyan papasok sa story yung cofactor. Okay, so we have cofactors like metals, may mga cofactors na yung source nila is vitamins. So in this case, since si potassium is a metal, okay, this is an example of a metal cofactor. Okay, so meron pong mga enzymes na kailangan ang potassium ion as a cofactor para ma-activate sila. Okay? And very important again yung enzyme kasi nga, they are biological catalysts. Okay? They facilitate complex chemical reaction within the biological system. Okay? So in general, these are the properties, the roles, the functions of potassium. Now let us proceed to the important compounds of potassium. Although most of the compounds ng potassium, almost relative lang din yung functions nila or yung uses nila to that of the compounds ng sodium. Okay? So we will just discuss them still individually. Sige. So let's start with sulfurated potash. Sulfurated potash, take note, this is a mixture siya ng potassium polypeptide. So potassium, not peptides, polysulfides. Okay, kaya may nakalagay nga S then sub X. Okay, that is an indicator na yung sulfide dyan, okay, is more than 2. Kaya nga, polysulfide. Okay? So, mixture po siya ng potassium polysulfide. Potassium polysulfide and what is this? This is potassium thiosulfate. Okay? Potassium thiosulfate. So, yan yung component ng sulfurated potash. A mixture of both sulfide, sulfur-containing compounds. This is also known as liver of sulfur, potassia sulfurata, heparsulfur. Okay, and take note, this is a very important component in the processing, in the manufacture or preparation of what we call white lotion USP. Yung white lotion USP, sabi nga, component dito is sulfurated potash. Yung isa pang component ng white lotion is zinc sulfate. Okay? So, zinc sulfate plus the sulfurated potash, that makes up the white lotion. Okay? So, kaya yung white lotion, pwede siya gamitin as astringent in general, as protective for skin diseases. It's because of its component sulfurated potash. Okay? It's because of the sulfurated potash. Kaya pwede gamitin yung white lotion USP as astringent and protective. Specifically, yung nagdo-dominate na active component ng sulfurated potash or even white lotion na mayroong activity against skin diseases, against skin infections, it's because of the sulfur. Okay, it's because of the sulfur na component niya. 'Di ba? Ang dami niyang sulfur. I know you have encountered this product. Familiar kayo sa sabon na sulfur, yung Dr. Wong's sulfur. Oh yes, para saan siya? Tingnan niyo yung packaging niya, 'di ba? Germicide, fungicide, parasiticide. So yung realization niya dito, kapag ang compound is made up of sulfur, okay, that is a very good treatment for skin diseases that is caused by fungi, for instance, caused by parasites, okay, or germs. Diba, ginagamit si sulfur as germicide kapag may mga kagid-kagid diba, sa skin. Sulfur yung gamitin mo na soap. Okay, it's because of the sulfur. Okay, and yung kulay ng sulfur, yes, may puti, pero it has undergone man na decolorize na siya. Pero yung pure color talaga ng sulfur is, di ba, yellow? Yung original na sulfur soap is kulay yellow. That is reflective to the characteristic color of the sulfur powder. Sulfur powder is kulay yellow. Okay? Next, let us proceed to potassium acetate. Yung potassium acetate, you have encountered, diba, sodium acetate sa compounds ng sodium. I-relate nyo lang yung uses ng sodium acetate to this compound of potassium acetate. So almost the same lang sila. Ginagamit as alkalizer, antacid, diuretic. Same lang. Okay, with sodium acetate. Only that, different yung salt nila, yung salt form. Yung isa, sodium, ito, potassium. Okay, salt of acetate. Next, we have potassium bicarbonate. So may carbonate ulit yung compound. So pwede siya gamitin as source of carbonating agent, particularly for the preparation magnesium citrate oral solution. Okay, or this is abbreviated as MCOS. Okay, magnesium citrate oral solution. Ano ba yung solution na to? This is a colorless to slightly yellow solution. So as you can see on the illustration, di ba, colorless siya. But if you try to check this actual, no, yung mismong solution niya, nasa ranging from colorless to slightly yellow yung kulay niya. Okay, ng mismong solution. That is because of its added flavor. Minsan kasi inaadan yan ng lemon, okay, para may flavor yung mismong solution. Okay, so para saan siya? So may nakalagay dito, saline laxative. Okay, saline laxative. O kapag laxative, indicated saan? Saang klaseng condition? Indicated for patients constipated. Okay, very good. Constipation. Constipated patients. Okay. I have introduced this, di ba? Kapag citrate containing, what else? Tartrate containing, what else? Sulfate containing na mga substances, compounds in general, okay, they carry laxative, okay, effect or activity. They carry laxative effect. Okay, kaya ginagamit yan as saline laxative. Okay, and again, yung source of carbon dioxide ng solution na to is potassium bicarbonate. Okay, kapag sinabing carbonating agent, source of carbon dioxide. Okay, source of carbon dioxide para maging palatable yung mismong solution. Diba sabi ko, yung carbon dioxide, yan yung nagbibigay palatability ng isang solution. Okay, next, potassium bitartrate. Okay, so it has the formula KHC4H4O6. Okay, so that's potassium bitartrate. This is commonly known as cream of tartar, cremor, then argol. Okay, ayan. And this is also chemically known as acid potassium tartrate. So, para saan siya? We have preparation of potassium bitartrate na ginagamit as laxative. So, very reflective to its ion containing, which is tartrate. So, mayroon tayong preparation ginagamit as laxative. Okay, aside from that, meron ding potassium tartrate na ginagamit as baking powder. So, para saan yung baking powder? Diba, ginagamit yan to raise dough. Okay, diba, during baking, kailangan yung baking powder para umulbo, no, yung dough. Okay, yung dough. So, yan yung use naman ng potassium bitartrate. Next, potassium carbonate. This is also known as potash. Okay, potash, pearl of ash. Okay, pearl ash. Okay, bakit siya tinawag na pearl ash? Kasi when you burn pearl, kapag in-ignite natin yung pearl, kapag naging ashes yan, if we analyze the component of the pearl, it is rich in potassium carbonate. Okay, kaya pearl ash. Okay, so please take note of the other names, no? Other names of the compounds. Okay, so again, source of carbonate ulit, carbonate ion kasi nga potassium carbonate, may carbonate ion sa compound. So source of carbonate ion, ano pa, alkalizer, antacid. So same effects with sodium carbonate. You compare that with sodium carbonate. Okay, when you study the compounds of potassium, you relate it with the sodium compounds. Okay. Next, potassium chloride. Okay, ayan. Okay, next, potassium chloride. This is particularly used as electrolyte replenisher. Kaya may nakalagay, replenisher, particularly, it is a potassium replenisher for hypokalemic states. Okay, so the same with sodium ulit. With sodium, na-mention ko doon yung sodium chloride. Okay? Di ba ginagamit si sodium chloride as electrolyte replenisher? So same with sodium ion, yung potassium ion is also one of the main electrolytes in the fluids. Okay? So kapag mababa ang level ng potassium ion sa fluids, sa physiological fluids, merong mga preparation to replenish, okay, what is lacking. Okay? So kapag mababa yung potassium ion, meron tayong mga potassium ion replenisher. So halimbawa nga yung potassium chloride. Okay? Hypokalemic, ibig sabihin hypo, mababa. Cal, from the word kalium, potassium, di ba? Latin term of potassium is kalium. So kapag mababa ang potassium ion sa blood, then you replenish. Okay? You supply. Replenish means supply. Okay? Or supply potassium ion. So component yung potassium chloride sa ringer solution. I have mentioned ringer solution under sodium chloride compound. Diba? This consists of the following 3 chlorides. Sodium chloride, potassium chloride, and calcium chloride. So these are the components of ringer solution or the solution of 3 chlorides. Component din siya ng lactated ringer solution, yung Hartmann's solution. Ano yung nadagdag sa lactated ringer solution? Sa 3 chlorides na to, ano yung nagdagdag para maging lactated ringer solution? Diba that is added with? Nakalimutan na namin, ma'am. Very good. It's sodium lactate. Okay, para maging lactated. So yun lang. How to memorize? Ano lang. Ringer solution din siya kasi lactated ringer solution. Ringer solution din. Now, para naging lactated form siya, added with sodium lactate. Next, component din siya ng Darrow's solution. Okay, sa Darrow's solution naman, simply i-remove mo lang yung calcium chloride. Okay, so with Darrow's solution remove mo lang yung component na calcium chloride. Okay, replace that with sodium lactate. That is the component of Darrow's solution. So electrolyte replenisher din yan. So kumbaga yung component niya are the following, yung highlighted with kulay yellow. You have sodium chloride, potassium chloride, and sodium lactate. So that is for Darrow's solution. Okay? So kapag solution, the state would be liquid, okay, solution. Now, we also have a commercially available product ng potassium chloride, okay, ginagamit as potassium supplement. Okay, ganun din kapag hypokalemic na state, ginagamit din ito, okay, to supply what is lacking, okay, to replenish potassium. So ito yung ginagamit as potassium supplement, Kalium Dirules, under the brand name Kalium Dirules. Okay, a sustained release tablet. So kapag tablet, orally administered. Ito naman, orally administered. Next, another known non-medical use of potassium chloride is we have this, okay, use ng potassium chloride as lethal injection. Okay? In some other countries, ito yung gamit ng potassium chloride. Okay? Yung gamit niya is for lethal injection. Kapag lethal, ano yung term na pumapasok agad sa utak nyo? Lethal. Yeah, deadly. Okay? So ito yung ginagamit kapag death penalty, halimbawa, death penalty or mercy killing. Okay, ito yon, lethal injection. So pwede yung potassium chloride. But take note, it has to be administered slow IV infusion. Okay, slow IV infusion, hindi po IV push. Okay? It should not be given IV push. Okay? Yung mabilisang inject, hindi po. Dapat yung slowly, okay, IV infusion, yung by drop lang, by drop. Yan yung way to administer potassium chloride as lethal injection. Okay? Bakit hindi dapat IV push? Because it can cause cardiac arrest. Okay? Cardiac arrest. Okay, so yan yung rationale bakit hindi IV push or IV bolus. Okay, IV push or IV bolus. Now, typically, in some other countries, diba, legal man yung death penalty. Okay, now there are 3 drugs used in lethal injection. Hindi lang naman potassium chloride. Okay, yung ginagamit. Okay, meron tayong tinatawag na, okay, number 1. Okay, again, these are drugs, okay, used for lethal injection. Okay, so number 1, please take note, we have what we call sodium thiopental. Sodium thiopental. Ito yung nag-i-induce unconsciousness, okay, sa mismong pasyente. Okay? Or sa tao, hindi naman pasyente yung mga gina-mandate for death penalty, di ba? Induces unconsciousness. Ano ba yung spelling? Tama ba yan? Unconscious, parang di ko alam. Kayo na lang mag-check, no? Sa spelling. Basta, induces unconsciousness or anesthesia, yan yung thiopental. Para walang malay yung pasyente na that's the use of sodium thiopental. Next, we have what we call pancuronium bromide. Okay? Pancuronium bromide naman, ito yung nagkukos ng muscle paralysis. Okay? Muscle paralysis. Okay, so paralyzed na ngayon lahat ng muscles, okay, pigil yung contraction, paralyzed. Okay, so hindi na makakagalaw ngayon yung tao, yung mismong tao. Then lastly, potassium chloride. Yung potassium chloride naman, ito yung nagpapastop ng respiration, nagpapastop ng heartbeat. Okay, it stops the heart. Okay? And also the respiration. So, nagkukos, ibali siya ng respiration arrest. Okay? Stop yung respiration. Okay? So, yan yung 3 common drugs that is used for lethal injections. So, yun na nga, non-medical use ng potassium chloride is as lethal injection, and that is administered slow IV. Okay? Slow IV infusion. Intravenous infusion. Okay? So, yan yung halimbawa ng preparation ng potassium chloride injected. Okay? Next, we have potassium citrate. Okay? Yung potassium citrate, okay, ginagamit naman siya as urinary alkalizer. Okay, nagpapa-alkaline ng urinary environment, okay, urine environment. Also, expectorant and diaphoretic. When you say diaphoretic, it induces sweating. Okay? Induces perspiration or sweating. Okay, so yan yung ibig sabihin ng diaphoretic. Okay, next, we also have other uses ng potassium citrate, osmotic diuretic, but this is a weak nga osmotic diuretic. Diuretic din, di ba? Pag diuretic, nagpapaihi. Pero pag sinabing osmotic type of diuretic, nagpapaihi siya, nagdodraw siya, okay, nag-excrete siya ng fluid content from the blood to the urine, okay, via the mechanism osmosis. Familiar ba sa osmosis? Kapag sinabing osmosis kasi, that is a movement of, it has something to do with the movement of water. Osmosis. Okay? Yung concept dito, it has something to do with the movement. It is relative to the movement of water. Okay? Now, yung nangyayari sa osmosis, yes, movement of water, pero paano yung movement ng water? Yung movement of water is from low solute, okay, lower solute concentration, okay, to higher solute concentration. Okay, so highlight nyo, solute. I am not talking about the solvent ha. Magkaiba yung solute sa solvent. Okay, so solute, halimbawa yung salt concentration. Okay, so let me give you an example para madali lang maintindihan yung concept ng osmosis. Halimbawa, yung sa, try nyo I think lahat naman na-experience to, yung kapag naliligo sa dagat, when you try to stay your hands sa dagat for siguro mga minutes, 10 minutes to 15 minutes, kung iaahon nyo na yung hands nyo, di ba magkukulubot-kulubot yung mga skin nyo sa kamay? Kabantay mo, ana. Kanang magkulubot-kulubot siya kung maligo kag dagat. Okay, labi na kung dugay ka magstay sa dagat. Okay, it is because yung nangyayari is from your blood, sa blood kasi, okay, then halimbawa, this is dagat versus that of the solute concentration mo sa blood. Kung i-compare mo yung salt concentration sa dagat versus salt concentration natin sa blood, di ba? Ang salt lang natin is 0.9%. When you say salt concentration, yung sodium chloride salt, halimbawa, i-compare mo naman sa dagat, sobrang laki ng dagat, di ba? Ang dami niyang sobrang taas ng salt concentration niya. Okay, concept lang to ha ng osmosis. Sobrang taas ng salt concentration sa dagat, and that is a common sense. Okay? Compare naman sa blood natin, sa cells. Halimbawa, sa cells, sa blood cells. Okay? So yung nangyayari, kapag osmosis, yung movement of water nga is from low, okay, low solute, so mula sa blood, mula sa cells natin, so delete ko muna, mula sa cells, okay, ayan, cells, okay, lower yung salt concentration, yung solute concentration, okay, so yung movement is from low salt concentration to the higher solute concentration. Ano yung nag-move? Yung water. Okay? Yung water, yung fluid content sa cells. Kaya nga nagkulubot-kulubot, di ba? Nagkulubot-kulubot ang halimbawa sa kanabitang terminal end sa atuang fingers. Okay? Nagkulubot-kulubot siya. Yeah, I know you know what I mean. Okay, na-experience pa natin na. Miski kung maligo lang ta sa CR, kung dugay ta maghumol, okay, maglabat ta for a long period of time, 2 hours maglaba. Then kung imong tantawon imuhang kamot, di ba, magkulubot-kulubot. So yan yung nangyayari. Okay, there is a movement of water, okay, from lower salt concentration to higher salt concentration. Yan yung concept ng osmosis. Okay? It's the same thing with movement of water from higher solvent. Okay? Higher solvent concentration to lower solvent concentration. Parehas lang yan po ng concept. Okay? Kapag solvent naman yung area, okay, ibig sabihin from higher solvent concentration. Kasi kung ang area na yan, mababa ang salt concentration, it means higher ang solvent dyan. Kapag ang area in that cell, higher yung solute concentration dyan, ibig sabihin, mababa yung solvent, okay, concentration dyan. Okay, kaya when you search about osmosis, other meaning niya is movement of water from higher solvent concentration to lower solvent concentration. It's the same concept, diba? It's the same concept. Osmosis pa rin yan. Okay? So yan yung ginagawa ng potassium citrate as an osmotic diuretic. So kapag naman i-relate natin siya as an osmotic diuretic, halimbawa, excuse me, this is the compartment of the blood. This is the compartment of the blood. And then, this is the urine compartment. So kapag osmosis ulit, yung ginagawa ng potassium citrate, pinapa-increase niya yung salt concentration sa urine, okay, versus that of the salt concentration sa blood. So ganun din kapag movement ng water from low solute concentration to high solute concentration. Kaya napapalabas niya yung water. Kasi movement of water yung osmosis. Hindi naman movement ng salt. Diba? Movement of water yung osmosis. Okay? Yung salt lang dyan, anong area? Saang area yung starting point ng movement ng water, saan siya papunta? Mula sa start, then ano yung pupuntahan niyang area? Okay, for the water movement. But again, it is a weak osmotic diuretic. A very known osmotic diuretic, okay, that is available commercially is what we call the mannitol. Okay, so ito yung very common, no, nga ginagamit as osmotic diuretic, yung mannitol. So yung concept niya lang is to draw water, to increase excretion of water from the blood into the urine via osmosis. Okay. Commercially available na potassium citrate, we have Acalca. Okay. ER means extended release. Okay, extended yung release ng active component for that tablet. Okay, para saan ito? Ginagamit naman ito for as anti-urolithic for kidney stone. Okay, yung mga may sakit sa bato. Ayan. Anti-urolithic. Kaya may nakalagay dyan. Anti-urolithic. Ayan. Okay, anti-urolithic. Used to treat kidney stones. Okay, so paano niya natitreat yung kidney stone? Yung ginagawa niya is alkalinity, no? Ina-alkalinize niya yung urine environment. Okay, releasing, okay, the acidic na mga components sa urine. Okay, so yan yung ginagawa ng potassium citrate. Next, potassium gluconate, same with potassium chloride, electrolyte replenisher din siya. Okay, so yung realization nyo lang dito is less irritating kapag gluconate salt. Less irritating. Yan. Okay. So kapag electrolyte replenisher it supplies the lacking electrolytes in the body. Next, potassium hydroxide. Other names includes potassium potash lye, caustic potash. Okay? Kapag lye lang, kapag ito lang highlighted yung in-highlight ko, LYE, sodium hydroxide yun. Okay, sodium hydroxide. Kapag caustic lye, that is also sodium hydroxide. Okay, and both sodium hydroxide and potassium hydroxide, saponifying agent. Saponifying agent sila. Okay? For potassium hydroxide, ito yung ginagamit as saponifying agent for soft soap. Okay, for soft soap USP. Okay? Next, we also have the compound potassium iodide. Paano ba? Ayan. Bakit ayaw mag-move for a while? Okay. Ayun. Next, we have potassium iodide. This is also known as kalium iodatum. Okay, so iodide, may presence of iodide, ion, expectorant. Expectorant, it expels phlegm. Okay. For the laboratory setting, ginagamit siya as iodine solubilizer. Okay, so which I have mentioned this already, diba? Under sodium iodide. No, na-mention ko siya under the topic sodium iodide compound. Between the two, between potassium iodide and sodium iodide, the one that is commonly used na solubilizer of iodine, okay, in iodine preparation is the potassium iodide. Okay, common na iodine solubilizer. Okay, so bakit ulit yung iodine in an iodine preparation kailangan ng solubilizer? It is because insoluble, very insoluble in water yung iodine. Kaya kailangan natin ng solubilizer for iodine para mabuo yung highly soluble form of iodine, which is the triiodide. So halimbawa ng iodine solution is the Lugol solution. So ito. Kaya may nakalagay, very important component yung potassium iodide in preparing Lugol's solution. Lugol solution. This is also known as strong iodine solution. Okay, so this is a solution of iodine, an iodine dissolved in water, and take note, at a higher concentration ng iodine, kaya strong iodine solution. Higher yung concentration ng iodine dyan. So that is the other name of Lugol solution. Para saan yan? Antiseptic. Ginagamit as antiseptic yung iodine solution. Next, potassium nitrate. Potassium nitrate, this is also known as saltpeter, sulfurnyl salitre niter. Okay. Before, it was used as meat preservative. Ibig sabihin, it enhances preservation ng meat, but since it is carcinogenic, hindi na siya ginagamit ngayon as meat preservative. Bakit siya carcinogenic? Again, kapag pag nitrate, halimbawa sodium nitrate, potassium nitrate, ginagamit as meat preservative. When metabolized, okay, in the body, they produces the compound nitrosamines. Okay, and nitrosamines, this is carcinogenic. Carcinogenic. Okay, kapag carcinogenic, it causes cancer. It affects the DNA. It causes mutation. Okay, so that's for potassium nitrate as a meat preservative. Ngayon, yung gamit ng potassium nitrate is as tooth desensitizing agent. Kaya, component siya mostly ng mga desensitizing toothpaste. Okay, yung mga toothpaste for sensitive teeth. Okay, present siya for those type of toothpastes. Okay, so halimbawa, Sensodyne, the sensitive Colgate Fresh Mint. Okay, kasi nga, tooth desensitizing yung agent na or compound na potassium nitrate. So, component siya dyan. Next, potassium chlorate. Potassium chlorate. This is also known as berthollet salt. Berthollet salt. So, based on its chemical formula, it has three oxygen, no? 3 parts of oxygen present. So, we could realize then na pwede siya gamitin as oxidizing agent. Kaya may nakalagay, strong oxidizing property. Okay. Bakit siya tinawag na berthollet salt? It is because of the person who first investigated, who first produced the compound potassium chlorate, and that is Mr. Claude Berthollet. Okay, this was discovered by Mr. Claude Louis Berthollet. Okay. So that's for potassium chlorate. So ano naman yung gamit niya? Component din siya ng toothpaste because of its oxidizing property. Kaya nakakaputi siya ng ipin. Okay, because of its oxidizing property, component siya ng toothpaste, and also for gargle. Okay, meron tayong mga potassium chlorate containing ng mga gargle, okay, or mouthwash. Okay, so that's for potassium chlorate. Next, potassium permanganate. Potassium permanganate, this is also known as mineral chameleon, Condis crystal, or Condis powder. Okay, with regards to its characteristic color, it is violet in color, violet or purple in color, and it has a staining effect, okay, or staining property. So please take note, purple or violet in color, yan yung potassium permanganate. May it be a crystal form, kulay violet. Kapag naman ginawa mo siyang solution, i-mix mo lang siya with water. Okay? So, yan yung kulay pa din niya. Okay? Kasi nga may staining effect siya. Okay, staining effect. This is a very strong oxidizing agent as well. Okay, you can easily identify if it is an oxidizing agent. It has an oxidizing property based on its chemical formula. Kapag marami siyang oxygen present in its formula, ibig sabihin meron siyang ability na magbigay ng oxygen. So oxidizing agent siya. Okay, magbigay ng oxygen, oxidizing agent. Now, may nakalagay dito, use in permanganometry. Permanganometry, this is not part of qualitative analysis under PChem 1. This is for quantitative analysis. Okay? So, ginagamit yan for the quantitative analysis during redox nga reaction. So you will encounter this higher courses nyo in pharmacy. I think next semester, kapag napasa nyo yung PharmCal, you will proceed with quality control, quantitative analysis na doon. So you will encounter this process for permanganometry. So for now, just know that ginagamit yung potassium permanganate in this qualitative chemical analysis. Okay? For the uses of potassium permanganate, okay, may nakalagay dito for bromhidrosis. When you say bromhidrosis, this is a condition of excessive or abnormal odor. Okay, abnormal body odor. Nagkakaroon ng foul-smelling odor, okay, sa katawan. Okay, so yan yung bromhidrosis. So sulat ko, abnormal body odor. Okay? So bakit nagkakaroon ng abnormal body odor? It is because of the decomposition of the sweat being secreted. Okay? Nade-decompose siya by the bacteria. Kapag na-decompose yung sweat mo, yung excessive sweat mo na na-produce by bacteria, that will form into an odoriferous nga volatile acids. Okay, kaya very foul smelling yung odor. Okay. Next, mycotic infections. Kapag mycotic infections, that is fungal infections. Diba? From the word mycosis, mycosis means fungi. So those fungi causing ng mga infection, pwede gamitin yung potassium permanganate solution, and there is only a certain strength na ginagamit for that, no, for treating fungal infections affecting skin. Also, potassium ivy dermatitis, not potassium, poison ivy dermatitis. Poison ivy dermatitis, That is a allergic reaction sa skin. Allergic reaction sa skin that is caused by the plant poison ivy. Okay, poison ivy, that is a plant, a poisonous plant. Okay? So kapag na-expose ka dyan na plant, it causes allergic contact dermatitis. Okay, dermatitis. Yung magiging condition ng skin mo with this type of dermatitis, magre-reddish, magkakaroon ng reddish skin, swollen skin, itchy, dry skin. Okay, itchy, dry skin. So again, potassium permanganate solution could be used. Okay. And we also have other use of potassium permanganate for strychnine poisoning. Strychnine poisoning, there was a case in India. Okay. If you try to search in Google, there was a case in India. Ito po yung strychnine manifestation or clinical manifestation sa tao. Okay, poisoned with strychnine. Strychnine, that is a component of a plant. Okay, that is a component of a plant. This is also known as Nux vomica. Nux vomica, or what we call the poison nut. Okay, poison nut. Okay, so kapag na-poison ka with that component of a plant present in a poison nut, what we call a poison nut. Yung ginagawa niya is, ito yung mechanism of toxicity ng strychnine. Okay, para may idea kayo bakit naging ganun, no, yung resulta with strychnine poisoning. Yung mechanism of toxicity niya sa katawan, kapag na-ingest mo yung strychnine, it inhibits the neurotransmitter glycine. Okay, it inhibits the inhibitory neurotransmitter glycine. Okay, so sulat nyo glycine na neurotransmitter. Glycine, this is a neurotransmitter of the spinal cord. Okay, spinal cord. Okay, kapag sinabing inhibitory neurotransmitter, okay, halimbawa si glycine, inhibitory neurotransmitter, kumbaga, kapag inhibitory, yung ginagawa niya is, kumbaga, relax lang yung muscle, relax lang yung spinal cord, halimbawa. Okay, so relax lang yung muscle in general. Yan yung inhibitory neurotransmitter. Depress lang yung muscle. Hindi magalaw yung muscle. Okay? So yan yung importance ni glycine. Okay? Hindi niya, parang relaxation yung general effect. O yung ginagawa nga ni strychnine, ano nga ulit ginagawa ni strychnine? Sabi ko, inhibit. Kaya may minus. It inhibits glycine. So kapag inhibited si glycine, walang glycine. O kapag walang glycine, do you think may relaxation ngayon in general sa buong muscles? Yes or no? Wala. Okay? So ano yung opposite ng relaxation? There is excessive contraction. So yung magre-resulta contraction. Tama? The opposite one. Kasi walang glycine na inhibitory neurotransmitter. So contraction yung mangyayari. Kasi nga apektado yung neurotransmitter in the spinal cord. Apektado yung transmission ng impulses sa spinal cord kasi walang glycine. Walang, kumbaga, magre-relax dictator na magpaparelax ng buong muscles. Lalo na yung mga muscles malapit sa spinal cord. Okay, so contraction yung mangyayari, persistent. Okay, persistent contraction. Ngayon, kapag yung muscles kasi in the body persistently contracts, darating yung time na mapapagod yan. Okay? Kasi nga persist na nag-contract, mapapagod yan ultimately. Once mapagod yan yung muscles, forever paralyzed yung mangyayari. Okay? Resulting to paralysis. Okay? Kasi persistent contraction, paralyze yung mangyayari. Okay? O anong sabi ko, asaan makikita yung glycine? Ito yung dominant inhibitory neurotransmitter, di ba? Sa spinal cord. Yan yung affected, yung sa spinal cord. Kaya yung makikita sa mga pasyente na may na nagkaroon ng strychnine poisoning is arching of the back. Kasi nga na-paralyze na due to persistent contraction ng muscle. Kasi nga nawala na yung glycine. Okay? Affected ni strychnine yung glycine. Na supposedly nagre-relax ng muscle. Wala na ngayon, inhibited na due to that poisonous na strychnine. Okay? Ang tawag sa clinical manifestation na to kapag arching of the back, or resulta to have results of strychnine poisoning, arching of the back. Parang pana, art. Diba? Yung arch, paano ba yan? Arch ba yan or arc? Okay, arching of the back, diba parang pana yan? Okay, this is medically termed as opisthottonus. Yan yung ibig sabihin ng opisthottonus, arching of the back. Okay? So meron tayong mga treatment, okay, for this, okay? And isa na doon is yung potassium permanganate. Okay? Next, for the other solutions of potassium permanganate, ginagamit naman siya for cleansing of wounds, for ulcer, for abscesses, yung mga nana, okay? Wet dressings, bath-in, eczematous condition. So yan yung halimbawa ng solution for cleansing of wounds. Okay? Potassium permanganate solution. Okay? So huwag kalimutan, purple in color, violet in color yung potassium permanganate, also known as Condis crystal, mineral chameleon. Okay, let's move forward. Let's have potassium metabisulfite. Ito naman, it's used as antioxidant. O, kapag antioxidant, ano sabi ko? Oxidizing agent, reducing agent. Kapag antioxidant. Very good. Reducing agent. Okay. So, analyze nyo lang. So against siya sa isang oxidant, sa isang oxidizing agent. So siya yung reducing agent. Metabisulfite. So the same with sodium metabisulfite. Meron ding na-discuss na sodium metabisulfite. So same lang sila ng use. Next, potassium metaphosphate. This is used as buffering agent. Kapag buffer ulit, it is an agent used to resist changes in pH. Okay? So halimbawa, you have a solution, okay? If you don't want that solution to change its pH upon addition of any kinds of solution, may it be acidic solution ang i-add mo, may it be basic solution ang i-add mo on that original solution, you add buffer, okay? Para ma-resist, no, mapigilan yung changes in pH upon addition of a small amount of acids or base. So halimbawa ng buffer agent is potassium metaphosphate. Next, monobasic, dibasic potassium phosphate. Parehas lang sila, ginagamit as treatment for hypercalcemia. Okay? Bakit sila pwede gamitin as treatment for hypercalcemia? It has something to do with the concept on bone and mineral homeostasis. Naalala yung concept na kapag yung parathyroid hormone, okay, during mineral homeostasis, bone homeostasis, kapag may parathyroid hormone in response of very good. Kidney, okay, to the parathyroid hormone, yung ginagawa is to mataas yung resorption of calcium. Kapag may resorption of calcium, taas yung calcium in the blood. Then, ano yung nangyayari sa phosphate? Phosphate excretion yung nangyayari. Okay, kaya sa blood, mababa yung phosphate sa blood. Okay, sa blood. So, kumbaga, inversely proportional yung relationship nila. O kapag hypercalcemia, mataas yung calcium, para mapababa mo yung calcium, phosphate, you add a phosphate-containing compound. Kasi nga, inversely proportional sila. Physiologically speaking. Next. We also have potassium sorbate. This is commonly used as preservative. Okay, preservative ng mga manufactured personal care products, preservative sa mga soft drinks, okay, yung mga drinks, limbawa, juice, ginagamit yung potassium sorbate as preservative. Next, potassium sodium tartrate. Okay, potassium, sodium. So you have potassium, sodium, then tartrate. Okay, so this is also known as Rochelle salt, salsagnate. Okay, cathartic siya, ginagamit as cathartic. Okay, kasi may tartrate. Tartrate ion, laxative, cathartic. So indicated for constipated patient. Now, in the laboratory, ito naman yung use niya. Okay, in the lab. Component siya in the solution Fellings B. Okay, Fellings B solution. Okay. Same na sila og use with what we call Benedict solution. Okay, Benedict solution, Fellings solution, they are just the same when it comes to their uses. Okay, in the laboratory, ginagamit itong dalawa to detect presence of simple sugar, particularly reducing sugar. So yan yung gamit ng Fellings Benedict solution to detect presence of reducing sugar. Ano ba yung halimbawa ng mga reducing sugar? Halimbawa ng reducing sugar, yung mga monosaccharides. Monosaccharides that includes glucose, fructose, galactose. Okay, fructose, galactose. Okay. Now, focusing on the Fellings solution, kasi ito yung merong sodium-potassium tartrate. Okay, so focusing in Fellings solution, yung solution nito, which detects presence of reducing sugar, it actually consists of two parts. Okay, meron tayong tinatawag na Fellings A, then another part niya is the Fellings B. So yan yung component ng Fellings solution. And yun na nga, as mentioned in the slide, ang component ng Fellings B as a sequestering agent is Rochelle salt. Okay? Now, aside from Rochelle salt, susulat ko Rochelle salt. Okay. Aside from Rochelle salt as component ng Fellings B, meron din dyan sodium hydroxide. Meron din yang sodium hydroxide. So, yan yung component ng Fellings B. Whereas for Fellings A, yung component dito is yung blue vitriol. Cupric solution is also known as the blue vitriol. Okay, kayo na lang magsulat ha, blue vitriol. Yan yung component ng Fellings solution, the cupric sulfate. O ngayon, yung rationale, okay, whenever Fellings solution is used to detect presence of reducing sugar, halimbawa, para may idea kayo, no, paano nagde-detect ng reducing sugar yung Fellings, okay, yung Fellings solution. So halimbawa, you have here a test tube, and then, excuse me, we have a test tube here, and then may unknown sugar, okay? Unknown yung sugar. and you are asked to identify that type of sugar if it is a reducing sugar. Present ba dyan is reducing sugar. So one of the solution that you can use, okay, para ma-detect kung reducing sugar ba talaga yung nandyan sa test tube na yan, you simply add Fellings, no? You simply add Felling solution. Component ulit ng Felling solution in totality, it has the Fellings A and the Fellings B. Combine na yan. Kapag Felling solution na, combination na yan ng A tsaka B. So I repeat, yung importance ni Felling solution dito is to detect the presence of reducing sugar. Okay? Now sabi kanina, yung Felling solution meron siyang cupric sulfate, di ba? So para ma-detect mo o ma-confirm, okay? Para ma-confirm na talagang reducing sugar ang na-detect ni Felling solution sa mismong test tube na yan, dapat may formation of brick red precipitate. Kapag arrow down, that is a precipitate. Okay? Ibig sabihin lang po ng brick red precipitate dyan, yung cupric, okay? Di ba may cupric ion sa Felling solution in a form of cupric sulfate? Yung cupric, okay, kapag na-detect niya ay reducing sugar, mare-reduce yung cupric. Kasi nga reducing sugar yung dinetect niya. Kapag nag-interact yung Felling solution sa isang reducing sugar, dapat ma-reduce yung cupric. Cupric is sabi ko kulay blue. Di ba? Kulay blue. Sabi ko, cupric sulfate is also known as blue vitriol. It is because it is a blue solution. Okay? That is a colored blue. Okay? Na solution. So from kulay blue, kapag na-reduce yan si cupric, o ano yung reduced form ni cupric? Meron bang reduced form si cupric? Meron ba? The reduced form of cupric is the ano yon? Meron ba siyang isang variable charge si cupric? Or copper 2 plus lang talaga yung copper. Oh, very good. Meron tayong cuprous, di ba? The Cu plus. Okay, very good. So, ayan. Kapag si Felling solution na-detect niya reducing sugar, mare-reduce yung cupric ion, which is kulay blue, okay, to a cuprous ion. And the color po of cuprous ion is kulay brick red or kulay red. Yan yung positive result, no? The positive result indicating presence of reducing sugar. Okay? Kasi na-detect niya nga, na-reduce, no? Na-reduce ng sugar yung cupric ion from the Felling solution. So yet, that is an indicator na reducing sugar yung na-detect kapag may formation ng brick red. So yan yung use ng Felling solution. And again, the component of Fellings B as sequestering agent is the Rochelle salt. Okay, Rochelle salt or the potassium sodium tartrate. Next, potassium arsenite. This contains 1% of potassium arsenite, ang Fowler solution. Fowler solution contains 1% potassium arsenite. That was used before in the treatment of leukemia. Okay? Leukemia. But this is no longer used today because the compound is very toxic due to the metal arsenic. Okay? This is no longer used. Okay? No longer used due to toxic arsenic. Diba? That is a heavy metal, a toxic heavy metal, arsenic. Okay. Oh, ito yung sa Fellings from blue to brick red. Okay. Next, potassium bromide. Oh, may bromide ion in the compound, pwede gamitin as depressant. Diba? Pag-depressant for the treatment of hypomanic, manic episodes. Okay? Other indication nyo na pwede gamitin as depressant for bipolar disorder is yung kapag may lithium ion. Halimbawa, lithium carbonate. Diba? Yan yung drug of choice. Okay? For mania, for manic episodes. And lastly, we have potassium tetra iodomercurate. So this is the component. Okay, this is also known as Nessler's reagent. The Nessler's reagent, this is an alkaline solution that is used to detect presence of ammonia or ammonium in a solution. And the indicator or the positive result na na-detect ng Nessler's reagent yung presence of ammonia in a solution is formation of a brownish precipitate. Okay? Formation of the brownish precipitate. Yan yung positive result na na-detect yung presence of ammonia with the use of Nessler's reagent. So this would be the last slide for potassium. Okay, these are a few of the most common reagent that is used to detect potassium ion in a sample. Okay, in a sample solution. Okay, so halimbawa, you have sodium cobaltinitrite, tetraphenyl boron, perchloric acid. So please take note of this reagents. These are able to extract potassium ion out of the solution. So it is able to detect potassium ion in a solution. Okay, so far we have discussed already the first four na members under alkali metals. Okay, do you have question? Under potassium, before we proceed?
None, ma'am.
Okay, so before we will have the break, I will finish first the remaining elements under Group 1A. So before we proceed to the next segment. Sige. So the next element under alkali metals, we have the rubidium, cesium, and francium. For francium, this will not be discussed already because this is a rare element. This is a highly radioactive metal, and it do not have an impact in the pharmaceutical field. Okay, kumbaga walang pharmaceutical importance yung francium. Okay, so let's have only this slide for rubidium and cesium, one compound for rubidium and one for cesium. With regards to the behavior of these two, very similar yung behavior nila, okay, to potassium ion. Okay, very similar in behavior sila to potassium ion. Kasi magkasunod lang sila, di ba? After potassium, you have rubidium and cesium. Now, an important compound of rubidium is the rubidium chloride. Okay, rubidium chloride, or this is available under the brand name Cardiogen, yung RBCL 82 injection USP. This is particularly indicated for cardiac imaging. PET means positron emission tomography. Yan yung process na yan. Positron, you can search what is the meaning of PET. Positron emission tomography. That is, yung concept lang is cardiac imaging. Okay? Ini-image, parang ini-x-ray yung myocardium, yung heart muscle, which is under rest, para ma-evaluate or ma-confirm yung certain regions of the heart muscle ng adult patient if meron bang existing disease. Halimbawa, meron bang existing coronary artery disease. So yan yung purpose lang po ng mismong process na to. And again, ginagamit yung rubidium chloride dyan. This is very important, no, yung mga bagong equipment. Kaya halimbawa dito, cardiac imaging, that is very important to help doctors to see how a heart, how a tissue is working at a very, at a molecular, at a cellular level. Okay, so yan yung importance niya. So radioactive to, no, radioactive compound rubidium chloride. Yung 82 dyan, it has something to do with the atomic mass of the rubidium. Okay, rubidium, not the atomic mass, the atomic number. Okay, atomic number. Next. An important compound naman for cesium chloride. Okay, cesium is the cesium chloride. Okay, important compound of cesium na aaralin natin is cesium chloride. Ito naman ginagamit for density gradient centrifugation. Okay, density gradient centrifugation. This particular procedure is for separation of biomolecule particles. So halimbawa, yung biomolecule na particle that you wanted to separate is the blood. Okay? And as we all know, yung blood, hindi lang naman yan red blood cell, white blood cell yung component ng blood, diba? It is a macromolecule and it has a lot of component. Meron yang WBC, red blood cell, platelets, plasma, meron yang water, meron yang salt, diba? So, if you wanted to separate, the particles in that sample, you can place that in a preformed gradient of cesium chloride. So halimbawa, yung nasa baba is a prepared gradient of cesium chloride. So upon centrifugation, if it's centrifuge na yan, so you're already familiar, diba, with centrifuge. I have mentioned this in the laboratory. So para ma-separate yung mga certain components. Okay? So upon centrifugation, the macromolecules from the sample blood, ang mangyayari, yung mga certain particles, they will be banded in the gradient, forming layers. Okay? And with that, kapag nag-form na yan ng layers, it can now be collected as pure fractions. Diba? So halimbawa, yung nasa taas, based on density. Kaya nga diba, density gradient, mas-separate yung mga particles ng macromolecule based on their density. Yung nasa taas, syempre, less dense. Yung nasa baba, more dense. Okay, diba yan yung concept kapag when it comes to density. Okay, separation based on density. So, this is an example. Okay, ng separation na mangyayari for that macromolecule. So with that, pwede na nating ma-collect as pure fractions yung certain components ng macromolecule being centrifuged, okay, being separated. So yan lang yung concept ng density gradient centrifugation, and that is with the use of cesium chloride. Okay, cesium chloride. Ayan. Sige. So that would be all for the alkali metal. So before we proceed to group 1B, the coinage metal, I will be discussing later the compounds under ammonium. Kasi although this is not a metal, this is not an element, this is not a single atom, this is an ion, diba? A polyatomic ion, so as you can see. But somehow, it has properties the same with alkali, the same with the alkali metals. Okay, that was discussed previously. So, i-discuss natin ito kasi meron silang properties possessed, no? The same with the alkali metals. So, discuss natin siya later on. So, my question po sa first few parts ng alkali metals. Okay, do you have question? Okay, wala pang question. Sige. So, we'll have a break first. Okay, we'll have a break first. Sige, 15 minutes. Let's have a 15-minute break. Okay, so be back. Okay, after 15 minutes. Okay, be back after 15 minutes. Then we'll continue. Okay? Sige.
Yes.
Okay, so let's continue. Let us resume the discussion. So at this juncture, let us proceed to the ion, the polyatomic ion that somehow possess the properties with that of the properties ng alkali metals. Kaya ang tawag sa kanila, in general, ng polyatomic ion na to is pseudo-alkali metal ion. Okay, pseudo. Pseudo means false, diba? Kasi nga, hindi naman siya alkali metal. Okay? Then, alkali metal, it is again because it resembles the same property with the alkali metal ions. Okay? So, with regards to the ammonium compounds in general, they are often referred to as alkali bases. So this is the reason mainly, no? The dominating reason bakit siya tinawag na pseudo-alkali metal, because they form alkali bases. And we all know that alkali metals, they form strong alkali compounds. Okay? So yung aqueous solution ng ammonium compounds, ammonium ion, they are used pharmaceutically as mild alkalizer. Then we have this compound, ammonium, household ammonia. This contains 10% solution of ammonia, and this is also known as 16 degrees ammonia. Okay, or 16 degrees Baume. Baume, that is a unit of concentration lang po. Okay, unit of concentration. Diba, halimbawa ng mga unit of concentration is molarity, normality, ayan, yung grams per ml, ayan. So, ito naman, this is also a unit of concentration kapag yung ginamit to measure the concentration is what we call the hydrometer Baume scale. Okay, using the Baume scale, hydrometer. Okay, so if that is used to measure the concentration of a certain solution, then you can use the unit of concentration Baume. Okay, so 10% ammonia is also known as 16 degrees ammonia. Okay, for the general activity of ammonium compounds, we have ammonium compounds used as diuretic, meaning it enhances urinary excretion, expectorant, it expels phlegm. Okay, kapag productive cough, anti-cardiogenic effect, just like the fluoride ion. So we have few substances of ammonia present in toothpaste, no? Because somehow it has anti-cardiogenic effect. Okay, so let us proceed to the individual compounds ng ammonium with pharmaceutical uses. So number 1, we have the ammonium carbonate. Ammonium carbonate with the chemical formula NH4,2CO3. This is also known as Baker's ammonia, ammonia crystal. So just please take note of the following other names. Okay, for its uses for qualitative analytical method, this is very important as precipitating agent for the group 4 cations. Diba? Other name natin or other term sa mga group 4 cations, which includes the barium, strontium, what else? Calcium, di ba? These are group 4 cations. And yung precipitating agent nila for qualitative analysis is yung ammonium carbonate. Okay, so ammonium carbonate. Kumbaga, they precipitate out as carbonates. Okay, kapag qualitative analysis, and usually they form white carbonates. They form color white carbonates. So, halimbawa, barium carbonate, strontium carbonate, calcium carbonate, they are colored white. Okay, so that's for qualitative importance, qualitative analytical method importance ng ammonium carbonate. We also have preparation ng ammonium carbonate, which is used for the preparation of strong not strong ammonia, for the preparation of aromatic ammonia spirit. If this ammonium carbonate, which is termed as smelling salt, is combined with strong ammonia solution, okay, that will form the solution aromatic ammonia spirit. Para saan ba yung aromatic ammonia spirit? This is used as respiratory stimulant. Okay, respiratory stimulant, meaning it restores, it stimulates the senses. It provides mental alertness. Halimbawa, kapag may nahimatay, okay, caused by a minor factor, okay, nahimatay due to shock, due to surprising event, okay, nahimatay. So to arouse the consciousness for that unconscious patient, you can let that patient smell, okay. This solution, lagay mo lang sa cotton, okay, then, or sa panyo, okay, then pa-smell mo, okay, sa unconscious patient. Okay, so yan yung importance ng aromatic ammonia spirit. Okay, so it has a combination of smelling salt and strong ammonia. Okay, the smelling salt, that is the ammonium carbonate. Then you have the strong ammonia, so that will form aromatic spirit of ammonia, aromatic ammonia spirit, USP. And again, respiratory stimulant. Okay, then we also have preparation of ammonium carbonate used as expectorant. Okay, next, we also have ammonium chloride. Ammonium chloride, this is used as diuretic. Okay, kaya may nakalagay osmotic diuretic. Also, this is as a diuretic, yung ginagawa niya sa urine environment is it acidifies, no? It lowers the pH of the urinary environment. Kaya urinary acidifier yung ammonium chloride. Okay, in general, it lowers the pH, urinary acidifier siya. Next, expectorant din. Expectorant, ammonium chloride. Okay, ammonium chloride. Next, ammonium alum, potassium alum. This one is, okay, for ammonium chloride product, okay, used as expectorant. Okay. Next, potassium alum. Okay. Ito yung another, no, ammonium chloride used as expectorant present in the preparation chlorwell as. Kaya may halimbawa tayo ng product, no, chlor as well for cough, no, for cough. Okay, so obviously as expectorant yung use ng ammonium chloride dyan. Next, potassium alum, aluminum, or ammonium alum. Ito naman, ginagamit as astringent, antiperspirant. Pag sinabing astringent, it is able to constrict tissues. It closes the skin pores. Okay? Constrict tissues, it closes the skin pores. Kaya nga diba yung tawas, okay? Yung tawas, kinuklose niya yung pores ng skin sa armpit. Okay, para mapigilan yung perspiration. Kaya, antiperspirant din at the same time. Pigil yung perspiration, pigil ang sweating. Okay, so component yan ng antiperspirant yung potassium alum, ammonium alum. Okay, yung potassium alum, yan yung tawas. Okay, tawas, potassium alum. Okay. Strong ammonia solution naman that is used for this was mentioned earlier, no? Sa first nga compound under ammonium, okay? Ammonium carbonate. Diba? This was mentioned, ayan. Combining strong ammonia, again, with ammonium carbonate that will form aromatic ammonia spirit. Ayan. So this is very useful for the preparation of aromatic ammonia spirit, respiratory stimulant. Okay, so strong ammonia solution, that is simply diluting ammonia, okay, in water. Okay, so isa lang po yung aqueous ammonia solution. Next, ammonium phosphate. Pag may phosphate, buffering agent. Okay, ginagamit din ito as diuretic agent. So again kapag buffering agent, it is added to a solution or to a preparation para mapigilan yung changes in pH, to resist changes in pH of a solution. Yes? Okay. Sige. So dito na lang tayo mag-record. Okay, so thank you for that. Next, let's have aromatic ammonia spirit. So, ito yung, asa na ba tayo? Ayan. Ammonium phosphate pa pala. Sabi ko nga, ammonium phosphate, buffering, and diuretic. Next, ammonium iodide. Ammonium iodide. So, may iodide ulit, the same with sodium iodide and potassium iodide. Pwede gamitin as expectorant. Then for laboratory, in preparing iodine solution, pwede siya gamitin as solubilizer. Okay, so tatlo na yung na-introduce na solubilizer of iodine, potassium, sodium, and this one, ammonium iodide. Okay. Ito yung strong ammonia. Okay, this is strong ammonia solution, yung number 4. This one is the aromatic ammonia spirit. Okay, or the spirit of hartshorn. And again, it consists of the smelling salts, the ammonium carbonate, smelling salts, it's the ammonium carbonate. Okay, and the strong ammonia solution. Okay, so that is for the component of aromatic ammonia spirit. Respiratory stimulant, respiratory stimulant. Next, ammonium acetate. Ammonium acetate, it is also a buffer component. Okay, and please take note, styptic. Kapag sinabing styptic, it stops bleeding. Okay, it is able to stop bleeding by constricting the tissues, by constricting the blood vessels. Okay, so that's the general information kapag styptic, it stops bleeding. Then, ammonium bromide, so depressant kasi bromide ion. Pag may bromide ion, lithium ion, depressant. Okay, depressant. Next, ammoniated mercury. Okay, the reason bakit yung compound nito merong anti-infective properties because of the mercury, the metal mercury. Okay, but this was not already used nowadays because of the toxicity caused by mercury. Okay, and that is a basic knowledge to everyone that mercury is toxic. That is a toxic metal. This is also known as white precipitate, ammoniated mercury. Ayan. Then before nga, it is used as topical anti-infective for minor skin infections, minor skin diseases. Okay, so last compound for ammonium is ammonium hydroxide. Okay, yung ammonium hydroxide naman, basically, yung importance niya is relative to qualitative analysis ng ion, okay, ng following ions, copper, cadmium, and bismuth ion. Okay, particularly, the solution of ammonium hydroxide, this is used to separate bismuth ion from cupric ion and cadmium ion. Okay, so these are the following positive results no, kapag na-detect yung copper, cadmium, and bismuth using the solution of ammonium hydroxide. So halimbawa, okay, you have a bismuth in a test tube, okay, in a sample solution. If you add ammonium hydroxide, it's not RO, should be add, no, addition. If you add ammonium hydroxide, ayan, okay, it will form the precipitate bismuth hydroxide. Okay, the bismuth hydroxide. And again, it is kulay white. Okay, so white. I'm sorry. Ayan. Then kapag naman cupric ion with ammonium hydroxide, it will form cupric hydroxide. Now, cupric hydroxide. Ayan. Okay, and then the color is blue. No, copper. For copper, it's blue. Okay, so blue solution. Okay, and then for cadmium, okay, with ammonium hydroxide, okay, it will form cadmium hydroxide. And the color initially is white. But kapag excess na, inadan mo pa additionally ng ammonium hydroxide, okay, with excess ammonium hydroxide, the white precipitate will dissolve, okay, forming a colorless solution. Okay, kaya nakalagay dyan, colorless with cadmium. Okay, colorless with cadmium kapag excess ammonium hydroxide. Okay, so that is for cadmium. Okay, so overall, those are the compounds ng ammonium. Okay, ammonium. Sige, so before we proceed, let's have a review. Review muna. Okay, let me check the 2 meetings for a while, huh? Okay, so let me ask you, type in your answer if you were able to grasp information. Sige nga. It is a compound of ammonium known as smelling salt. Compound of ammonium known as smelling salt. It is okay. It's the ammonium carbonate. Okay, very good. Ammonium carbonate. Oh, what about yung sa potassium naman? Oh, this is a compound of potassium with a non-medical use as lethal injection. Lethal injection compound of potassium. Potassium chloride, very good. What about it is also known as blue vitriol. Which is a component of Fehling's. Fehling's A particularly. It is cupric sulfate. Very good. It's cupric sulfate. Okay. Very good. Ano naman yung 10% concentration of ammonia? Also known as 16 degrees Baume. 16 degrees Baume, 10% concentration of ammonia. Anong tawag sa preparation na yun? Very good. Household ammonia. Okay? So yung pharmaceutical chemistry, yung technique lang talaga dito is memorization. No? It's not too much on analysis sa PChem 1. You will survive PChem 1 if you are very good in memorization. Kasi memorize lang talaga. Ang dami niyong i-memorize sa PChem 1. Okay? You can survive PChem 1. Memorize lang yun. Memorize. Okay? Di siya parehas sa solving. Kasi kapag pag math, halimbawa, pharmcal, di ba, kailangan nyo pa i-analyze yung problem. Okay? Although, given naman yung formula, you simply memorize the formula, then substitute what is given in the problem. Pero you still have to analyze, no? You cannot answer a math problem if you do not analyze the problem. Pag ganito naman, sa PChem 1, kapag na-memorize mo, okay, you can survive, no? PChem 1. Okay? Sige. So let us proceed to Group 1B. Okay, Group 1B. So ito yung pattern natin. Group 1A, Group 1B, then Group 2A, Group 2B. So ganun. So for midterm, hanggang Group 1B lang tayo kasi last meeting naman natin ngayon, diba? So I will not be providing additional recorded na mga materials para maubos lahat, no, yung natitirang compounds sa other groups. So hinay-hinayan lang na to. So ano yung kayang matapos, then hanggang doon lang. Sige. So Group 1B until Group 1B yung midterm. Sige. So let's have group 1B. These are also known as coinage metals. Okay. So for coinage metals, this consists of the following members. Group 1B, copper, silver, gold, and ruthenium. Okay, as you can observe, these metals are actually found in the middle portion of the periodic table. Okay, if this is the periodic table, makikita sila dito. Okay, itong part na to sa transition. Okay, parte sila ng transition metals, yung nasa middle portion ng periodic table. With regards to ruthenium, yes, do you have question? With regards, yes. Okay. I'm sorry. Nag-share screen Monday ko, no? I'm sorry for that. Kaya, eto. Okay. So I repeat, for coinage metal, the elements under this are considered transition metals. Okay, so transition metals. With regards to ruthenium, this is not considered coinage, okay, coinage metal, but this is part of group 1B. So I repeat, under group 1B, okay, hindi coinage metal si ruthenium. Kasi yung ruthenium, that is a synthetic metal that is artificially made. Okay, artificially made yan. Yung ruthenium. So, hindi tayo mag-study ng compounds, okay, with ruthenium. Okay, kasi walang pharmaceutical importance yung ruthenium. And again, this is synthetic, artificially made. Okay, so we will just focus on the following coinage metals: copper, silver, tsaka gold. Ito lang po yung coinage metal, tatlo. Okay, so let's have first the properties of coinage metal in general. Okay, please take note. Coinage metal, bakit sila tinawag na coinage metal? It is because these metals, they were used before during ancient times as mode of currency. Okay, they are used in making coins before. Kaya nga 'di ba, yung coins before sa ancient times made up of copper, yung coins. Yung iba nga may times nga gold yung pinagbarter, no, as coins, no? Pero yung dominating talaga na coins is made up of copper before, no? Pero ngayon, 'di ba, made up of nickel and other metals na. Hindi na gold. Okay? So, how I wish na gold yung coins natin ngayon. Pero yun na nga, very distinct na kaayo karon ang gold and mahal. Okay? So, coinage metal ulit, tinawag sila as coinage because they were used before as mode of currency. For the general properties ng group 1B metals, comparing to group 1A, yung mga coinage metals, they occur in free state. Okay? They occur in free metal state. Kaya nga, pwede sila gamitin as mode of currency before, as coins before. Kasi hindi sila reactive. Okay? Hindi sila reactive. Okay? Not chemically active. They can be displaced by other metals during chemical reaction. If you try to recall the reactivity series of metal, di ba, I have provided this reactivity series of metals. If you try to check that, yung mga coinage metals, copper, the silver, okay, at saka yung gold, they are found, okay, at the bottom of hydrogen. So they are considered less reactive. That's why they can be displaced, okay, during chemical reactions by other metals. Okay, another thing, although it's not written here, kindly add na lang, they are divalent in nature. Okay, they are divalent in nature, meaning to say it has two valence electrons in their outermost shell. Okay, and with regards to their malleability property, very malleable sila, very malleable. Okay, meaning to say they can be hammered, they can be flattened into thin sheets. O kaya nga, before, ginamit sila as mode of currency. Ginamit sila as coins in making coins kasi malleable yung characteristic ng metal. Okay? Under Group 1B. Particularly the coinage metals. Okay, so generally, these are the properties, chemical properties of coinage metals. Okay, so let's have the individual properties of each metals under this group, starting with copper. Okay, so with copper, take note, it comes from the Latin word cuprum. Cuprum, kaya meron siyang symbol na Cu, capital C, then U. It's because of its Latin term. Then copper metal, this is characterized as reddish in color. It is reddish in color. And when it comes to the order of malleability, okay, among coinage metals, it is the third most malleable metal. Okay, third most malleable, and then third best metal conductor of electricity. Ibig sabihin ng metal conductor of electricity, ibig sabihin it has the ability to allow the flow of electric current, okay, pwedeng in one or more directions, okay, on that metal. Okay, so conductor siya ng electricity. Then another importance of copper, I'm sorry, ano yun? Okay. And another importance of copper is that it is a component of hemocyanin. Okay, please take note, component po siya ng hemocyanin. Hemocyanin, that is a respiratory pigment. Respiratory pigment. Kung baga, kung sa human being, yung respiratory protein natin, okay, that carries oxygen is hemoglobin. Okay, yung hemocyanin naman, ito yung a respiratory pigment or respiratory protein that transports oxygen, that carries oxygen sa mga invertebrate animals. Pag sinabing invertebrate animals, yung no spinal cord, di ba? Halimbawa ito ng invertebrate animals, yung mga walang spinal cord, no spinal cord. So halimbawa nga, itong mollusks, mga arthropods, okay, yung lobster, shrimps, okay, crabs, ayan. Yan yung mga halimbawa ng invertebrate animals, yung walang spinal but with a very soft body and meron silang hard shell covered to their soft body. So ito yung mga halimbawa. Now, yung oxygen carrier nila, okay, yung respiratory protein ng mga invertebrate animals is what we call hemocyanin. And that hemocyanin is a copper-containing protein. Okay, it contains copper containing siya. Okay? O ano yung sabi ko sa kulay ng copper, particularly cuprous? I have mentioned earlier the color of copper. Ano yung kulay ng copper 2+? Diba? Okay, very good. Sabi ko kanina, diba, it's kulay blue. So the copper that is found in hemocyanin, that is the reason or that gives the blood of these animals a blue color. Okay, blue color. Kaya kulay blue yung blood ng mga ganitong animals. It's because of the copper ion present in their hemocyanin, present sa dugo nila, sa oxygen carrier, okay, ng dugo nila. Sa atin, it's color red because it's not copper yung present sa hemoglobin natin. Wala tayong hemocyanin ha. Ang atin sa humans is hemoglobin. I know you're familiar with hemoglobin. And yung present na ion sa hemoglobin kung saan naka-attach yung oxygen, it's the iron. Okay, iron. Okay, kaya nga 'di ba kapag mababa yung iron sa katawan natin, may anemia tayo, luspad ta. Luspad ta kay kulang ang iron kung saan dumidikit yung oxygen, yan yung nagbibigay pula sa dugo. Okay, kung mababa yung iron, less pula yung pamanit nato, 'di ba? So yan yung sa case naman natin. Okay? So iron naman yung nasaan. For copper, component din ito ng enzyme na cytochrome oxidase. Itong enzyme naman ito catalyzes redox reaction. Okay, it catalyzes redox reaction. And then may nakalagay dito, essential yung copper as trace element. Yes, important din naman yung copper sa body natin, sa human beings, but as trace element. When you say trace, ibig sabihin, yung element na to, nutritionally important siya, nutritionally essential siya for our body functioning, but in small amount, in traces only. Diba? Kasi aming trace in small amount, in traces only. Okay? Kasi kapag too much na with that certain element na dapat traces lang dapat sila present in the body, that will cause poisoning. Kaya on the next slide, meron tayong tinatawag na copper poisoning. Kapag higher than the normal level ng copper in the body, that will cause poisoning already with copper. Okay, then ito sa laboratory, na-mention ko naman to, di ba? Cupric ion is part of group 2, no? Group 2 cations. Group 2 cations. Ano yung other names ng group 2 cations? Acid, insoluble sulfide, meaning yung cupric ion in a test tube, kapag tinest mo, okay, if you wanted to precipitate out cupric ion, you can add a sulfide group. You can have hydrogen sulfide ba or ammonium sulfide, okay, in the presence of an acidic environment. So what makes the environment acidic? Pwedeng HCl. This was discussed in your laboratory, everybody. Okay, so scan nyo lang yung notes nyo sa lab nyo with regards to 5 groups of cations. Under group 2, doon na belong si cupric ion. Alright? With regards to the pharmacologic action ng copper, okay, in general, okay, they are used as protein precipitants. Meaning, ng protein precipitant, they can form complexes with protein. Okay, they can form complexes with protein, causing precipitation. That's why they can precipitate out proteins. Okay, another importance of copper as an element, it enhances the physiological absorption, absorption of iron. Okay, absorption. Okay, it enhances the absorption of iron in the body. Remember, yung iron, this is very important sa blood natin. Okay, for hematinic activity. Hematinic activity, meaning for hemoglobin synthesis. For the hemoglobin production, kailangan yung iron. Okay? Kasi nga ulit, I've mentioned earlier, yung metal or yung element present in our hemoglobin that carries oxygen is the iron. Okay? Now, yung copper, as mentioned as stated in this slide, it enhances the physiological absorption. Okay? Hindi siya parte ng hemoglobin. Yung ginagawa niya lang, nagkukause siya ng greater na absorption or utilization ng iron in our body. Okay? In fact, yung nangyayari is, yes, although si iron, kahit siya lang, meron na siyang action. Okay, meron na siyang action sa katawan. Yun na nga, hematinic activity for the production of hemoglobin. Hematinic means production of hemoglobin. Okay, and we all know important yung hemoglobin, ha? That is the oxygen carrier ng blood. Okay, now, I repeat, si iron alone, meron na siyang action. Now, with the addition of copper, okay, yung ginagawa ni copper, nag-a-add pa siya. Okay, nag-a-add siya or nagkukos niya, upon addition ng copper, nagkukos siya ng greater effects ng iron. Kumbaga, na-enhance yung effect ni iron in the presence of copper. Ang tawag dyan na effect na yan is synergistic. Okay, synergistic effect. Kumbaga, siya alone, may effect na, but with the addition of another substance, it produces greater effect of that comparing to the individual effect ng iron lang. Okay? So kapag may kasama na siyang copper, okay? Kapag may na-feel siyang copper, na-enhance kumbaga yung effect ni iron. Okay, na-enhance yung hematinic activity ni iron. That is synergistic effect. Okay? Kaya enhances physiological utilization. Only the absorption ine-enhance niya yung absorption ng iron in the body. Ibig sabihin, kapag enhance yung absorption ng iron in the body, na-enhance din yung action ng iron in the body. And para saan yung iron in the body? For hematinic activity. Okay? Thus, increasing hemoglobin production. Okay? So, yan yung synergistic. Kumbaga, kung sa math pa, 1 plus 1, 3 na. Okay? Hindi lang 2, kasi na-enhance yung activity ng iron dito. So, hindi na equivalent to 2. Kasi kapag 2, sila individually merong equal activity. So, mas enhance ngayon than the individual effect ni iron. Okay? So, I hope nakuha yung concept ng synergistic. Okay? Next, for the toxicity, so ito yung sinasabi kong toxicity ng copper. Okay? This is known as Wilson's disease. So, kapag toxicity, ibig sabihin, yung level ng copper in the body is higher than the normal dapat. Okay? So, Wilson's disease, that is characterized actually with liver disease. Okay? That is characterized by a liver disease. Kaya may nakalagay dito, diba, as labeled. So, liver disease. That is because yung nangyayari is may difficulty ngayon sa metabolism of copper. Okay, so Wilson's disease, there is already difficulty in the metabolism of copper. No? Supposedly, dapat ma-metabolize yung copper in the liver para ma-excrete siya. Okay, malabas siya sa katawan. Kapag hindi na metabolize ang copper in the body, in the liver particularly, that will cause deposition, accumulation of copper in certain organs. Halimbawa, kapag na-accumulate yung copper sa brain, that will affect the brain. Kaya may nakalagay dyan na sakit in relation to brain. Okay? Sa mata naman, yung clinical presentation kapag there is deposition of copper in the eyes, ang tawag dyan is Caser flature. Okay? So just take note of the term. Ayan. O ayaw mabura. So Caser flature. Nababasa naman, no? So ang nangyayari dyan is that nagkakaroon ng darker ring. O itong part na to being labeled. Nagkakaroon ng darker ring, okay, which appear to encircle the iris of the eyes. So yan yung nangyayari sa Caser flature. So underlying problem ulit, may deposition, accumulation of copper dyan. Ano yung pinaka-root nga problem? Hindi na metabolize yung copper sa liver. Kaya, nade-deposit yung copper, hindi siya na ilalabas sa katawan. Kapag nag-deposit yan, pwedeng mag-deposit sa brain, pwedeng mag-deposit sa mata, causing that certain conditions. So that's for the toxicity known as Wilson's disease. The antidote is penicillamine. This is not penicillin, It's not penicillin. This is penicillamine. This is the degradation product of penicillin. Okay, degradation product of penicillin. Okay, penicillin. Or this is available under the brand name Cuprimine. Brand name Cuprimine, or with letter E or without letter E. Okay, parehas lang yan. Deficiency naman, for the deficiency, or so, although this is not written here, no, ang deficiency ng copper. For the deficiency of copper, please take note, it's Menkes disease. Okay? It's Menkes disease. Susulat ko. Deficiency. I think Ayan. Wala pala. Ayan. Deficiency of copper. So yan, Menkes disease. Okay, so kapag deficiency naman, mababa yung copper ion sa katawan. Okay? Lower than the normal. Okay, so deficiency naman yan. Ang tawag dyan, Menkes disease, or this is also known as kinky hairs disease. Kinky hairs disease. Kaya kung titingnan nyo yung bata, di ba, very kinky yung texture ng hair niya, hair strand, kinky. Curly, kinky hair. Aside from that, other clinical manifestation observed to a patient with Menkes disease is nagkakaroon ng growth failure, and affected din yung nervous system. Kaya may nervous system deterioration. Okay, deterioration. Okay, so that's for deficiency of copper. Okay, then with regards to the alloys, okay, two important alloys. Yung highlight ko, ito yung pinaka-importanting alloys that you have to take note under copper. Pag sinabing alloys, I know you have heard about alloys, no? Kapag metal, alloy, alloy yan. Okay, kasi combination yan ng metal na ganito, ganyan. Kapag alloys, that is the combination of metals. Ang rationale, bakit kino-combine yung metals to form alloys, that is to give greater strength, to make that metal more resistant to corrosion. Okay, so yan lang yung rationale bakit metals needs to be alloyed together, needs to be combined to give greater strength to make that metal more resistant to corrosion. So please take note of the following alloys of copper, brass, and bronze. So kapag brass, combination of copper with zinc. Kapag combination of copper with tin, it's bronze. So how do I memorize this? Para madali ko lang siya matandaan nga kapag with zinc, brass, with tin, bronze. So I read brass as brass with letter Z. So pa-Z ending yung pag-read ko sa brass kasi double S, 'di ba? Brass. Okay, brass para madali ko matandaan nga siya yung with zinc. Kapag naman bronze, although siya yung may letter Z, pero isa lang yung letter Z. But when you try to pronounce bronze, it's somehow letters S lang, 'di ba? Yung mapopronounce mo. So when I read bronze, medyo pabebe. Okay, bronze. Okay, with letter S. Okay, so ayan. So that is how I memorize this para di ko makalimutan. Bronze. Bronze with tin. Siya naman yung with tin. And di ba tin is SN? Okay, so brass, siya yung with zinc. Bronze, letter S, tin. Ito, you can just memorize this. Also, the Vardas alloy. Ito naman, merong aluminum. Yung brass, merong aluminum. So, copper, zinc, and aluminum. The Vardas alloy. So, those are the importance, okay, for the properties, chemical properties, okay, at saka importance ng copper. Okay. Now, let us proceed to the compounds of copper. Okay, so let's start with cupric sulfate. Okay, for cupric sulfate, I have mentioned this earlier. Cupric sulfate, this is also known as blue vitriol, blue stone. So it has something to do with a characteristic color. Kapag sinabing vitriol, okay, general term, okay, vitriol, kapag sinabing vitriol, that is the chemical name of the category of compounds, the class of compounds comprising sulfates with metals, with certain metals. So halimbawa, a sulfate with copper, that is a blue vitriol. Kasi yung copper ion is kulay blue. Okay? Meron din tayong tinatawag na zinc sulfate. So sulfate with the metal zinc, ang tawag naman dyan is white vitriol. So kumbaga, it is named based on the characteristic color of that metal. Kulay white kasi yung zinc. I have mentioned this, most of the compounds of zinc, white in color. Meron din tayong cobalt sulfate. Okay, cobalt sulfate. So yung cobalt sulfate naman is red. Okay, this is a red vitriol. Okay, red vitriol. And then for iron sulfate, this is green vitriol. So please take note of this vitriols. Okay? And then kapag vitriol, oil of vitriol, that is the other name of sulfate lang. Particularly the acid form of sulfate, sulfuric acid. Kasi vitriol lang. Okay? So kapag may kulay na yan, may presence of metal na yan. Okay, pag may kulay na halimbawa blue, may copper na yung sulfate, white, may zinc, red, may cobalt, green, may iron. Okay, so these are the other names. Okay, now for copper, balik tayo kay copper. I have mentioned this already. Cupric sulfate is used in the preparation of Benedict solution, in Fehling solution, in Haynes solution. Para saan ulit itong mga preparation na to? To detect presence of what type of sugar? To detect presence of, under qualitative tests ng carbohydrates, to detect presence of, I have mentioned this, presence of, I forgot na ma'am. Very good. Simple sugar. Reducing sugar. I have mentioned, diba, earlier, reducing sugar. Okay, they detect presence of reducing sugar. Okay, yung Fehlings, yung Benedicts, yung bago lang dito is si Haynes. So just take note, component nila is cupric sulfate. Ano yung kulay ng cupric sulfate? Blue. Alright? Then, positive result. O ano yung sinabi ko kanina nga positive result, halimbawa sa Fehlings. Actually, the same lang yung positive result nila. Kapag na-detect yung reducing sugar using the following solution, Benedict's, Haynes, or Fehlings solution, what is the color of the precipitate that will be formed? Ano yun? I forgot na ulit, ma'am. Very good. It's brick red. I have mentioned earlier, brick red precipitate. Ibig sabihin, indicator ito na na-reduce si cupric into cuprous, naging Cu+. Okay? Next, recall also that cupric ion, especially in the form of cupric sulfate, ito yung may synergistic effect when combined with iron. Ito yung may synergistic effect with combined with iron, resulting to greater effects, enhanced iron absorption, causing increased hematinic activity. Okay, kapag hematinic activity na-enhance yung formation of hemoglobin. Okay, kasi important yung iron sa formation ng hemoglobin kasi sa iron dumidikit yung oxygen. Okay, and generally, hemoglobin is the carrier of the oxygen in the blood. Okay, next, cupric sulfate is an antidote for phosphorus poisoning. Okay, particularly, we have different forms of phosphorus, but the one form of phosphorus that causes poisoning is the yellow or the white. Okay, the yellow or the white phosphorus, yan yung sobrang toxic. Okay, yellow or white phosphorus. Wherein component ito ng fireworks, component ng rat poison, yan. Okay, and a manifestation of a patient, okay, poisoned with phosphorus, manifestation, okay, of a patient poisoned with phosphorus, nagkakaroon ng garlic odor breath, and also presence of a luminous vomitus, kung saan yung vomit niya, yung mismong suka niya, it appears luminous, kumbaga shining yung suka niya in the dark. Okay? Kumbaga, kapag in-off mo yung light, then titingnan mo yung suka niya, luminous yung characteristic. Okay? It's because of the white-yellow phosphorus. Okay? So yan. Yung characteristic kasi ng phosphorus na ito, it gives off fluorescence color. Okay? Yung mismong phosphorus na white phosphorus or also known as yellow phosphorus. Okay? Then bakit pwede as antidote si cupric sulfate, okay, for phosphorus poisoning? Para, it is because of this effect. Emetic kasi yung cupric sulfate. When you say emetic, it induces vomiting. Okay? It induces vomiting. Nagpapasuka. No, nagpapasuka siya sa mismong tao para mailabas yung cause ng poison, para mailabas niya yung phosphorus. Na-poison siya sa phosphorus, para mailabas niya, mag-induce yung cupric sulfate ng vomiting to that patient. Kaya yung makikita natin, pagsuka niya, luminous vomitus. Okay? It's because of the yellow and white phosphorus. Okay? And then another importance of cupric sulfate, component siya ng Bordeaux mixture. Okay, this is a component of Bordeaux mixture. Okay, I don't have, I will change the the slide, okay, or the presentation pagdating ng second compound ng copper. Okay, wala kasi itong picture. Okay, sige, nasa ibang slide pala iyon. Okay, let's continue muna. For cupric sulfate as component of Bordeaux mixture, take note. Aside from cupric sulfate as component of Bordeaux mixture, meron din yang kasamang lime. So calcium oxide or the lime plus cupric sulfate, yan yung bumubuo sa Bordeaux mixture. Now, ano ba yung Bordeaux mixture? That is actually first discovered sa place na to. Okay? Sa University of Bordeaux. Okay? Bordeaux. Ayan. So, doon na-discover yung Bordeaux mixture. Okay? Doon siya na-produce. Okay? And again, ang component niya is cupric sulfate, calcium oxide. Now, that was discovered by Miss Peer. Okay? Miss Marie. Okay, sulat ko ha. Miss Marie Milliarde. Ayan. Basta mahaba yung pangalan niya. You can search on the internet. Marie Milliarde. Or may Peer ba yun? Marie Pierre Milliarde. Siya yung nag-discover ng Bordeaux mixture. Okay, kasi she's actually a botanist sa mismong paaralan na yun. Okay, sa University of Bordeaux. Now, this was actually formulated by Miss Milliarde. It is because of the infestations. Nagkaroon ng infestation of mildew. Okay, may mildew infestation. I don't know if you're familiar with this. Mga fungi to, aphids na nagko-cause, no, or nag-a-affect, okay, nag-infest sa mga tanim. Okay, aphids, mildew. Paano ba yung spelling ng mildew? Double D man ata. Okay, mildew. Basta ako yung nagsusulat sa slide. Okay. Di ako masyado marunong sa spelling. Okay. So, mildew. Basta yan na yun. Okay. Basta mga nag-e-infest sa mga plants. So there was a time, no, na nagkaroon ng infestation of aphids sa vineyard ng France. Okay, sa vineyard ng France, sa vines. Diba ang France, that is known to have the most beautiful na mga vineyard, mga vines ba, mga vineyard destination. Ang France that is known to that destination, tourists, mga vineyard. So naatoy time. That was 1990s, no, nga may infestation sa vineyard. So ang ginawa ni Miss Milliarde as a botanist, syempre very enthusiast kay siya when it comes to plants. Okay, so gumawa siya ng mixture, okay, anti-fungi, okay, against this one, okay, against this, okay, mga infestation, mga fungi. Okay, against sa mga nag-infest na mga fungi sa plants ng mismong vineyard ng France. So, siya yung nag-initiate, kumbaga, siya yung nag-initiate na, gawa tayo ng mixture. Okay, and ang tawag doon sa mixture na yun is Bordeaux mixture. Kaya yung nakalagay sa slide under Bordeaux mixture is anti-fungi, di ba? Anti-fungi. Okay, yung nasa notes nyo, anti-fungi yung Bordeaux mixture. And ang component niyan is cupric sulfate, calcium oxide, ayan, or lime. Okay, so yan yung story behind the formulation ng Bordeaux mixture. Okay, dahil lang po dito na-infest yung mga plants sa vineyard ng France, so nag-initiate siya ng isang antifungal na preparation. So ayan. Okay, Bordeaux mixture, that is an antifungal. Okay, so let me transfer to the other presentation na merong photos. Ayan. I think this is the one. Okay. So, ayan. So, yan yung mixture ng Bordeaux. This is for cupric sulfate. This is the structure or not the structure, the halimbawa, no, ng picture of the crystal na cupric sulfate. Okay, crystal ng cupric sulfate, kulay blue. Kulay blue. Ito naman yung Bordeaux mixture. Bordeaux mixture. Sige. So let's proceed to the second compound ng copper. Copper acetoarsenite. So this is also known as Paris green or emerald green. Okay, this is also known as emerald green. Okay, so saan siya ginagamit? It is used to kill or repel species of insects. Okay, kaya may nakalagay insecticide and fungicide as well. And again, that is because of the copper component. Next, the cupric, that is the cupric citrate. Ito yung cupric citrate. Cupric citrate. Ito naman, at 8% concentration, meron siyang astringent property. Astringent property at 8% concentration. Okay? And then we have the Scheele's green. Yan yung Scheele's green, the cupric hydrogen arsenite. Related lang din siya sa Paris green. Okay, relate niyo lang siya sa Paris green. The same lang po sila ng use. Okay, the same use, insecticide. Okay, basta may arsenite, no, arsenic, okay, in general, or may copper ba, fungicide, insecticide yan. Okay, ayan. Kasi nga toxic sila ba? Toxic, especially yung arsenic, no? Yung arsenic, very toxic. Next. This would be the last slide for copper. We have the blister copper. So just know that this is obtained from furnace covered blister. Although this is not really a compound of copper. This is just a type of copper. Okay, that is a type of copper that is obtained from furnace that is covered by blisters. And lastly, we have the Cupric Ferrocyanide. Ito naman, this is also known as Hatchett's brown. Okay. Ito, ginagamit to as coloring. Okay. Coloring or as pigment. Okay, pigment. Ayan, pigment. So, ginagamit siya for paints. Ayan, paints component siya. Used sa paints. Okay, pigment dyes. So, konti lang, no, yung compounds ng copper. Yung pinaka-importante dito is yung cupric sulfate. Cupric sulfate. Okay? Sige, we still have time. So, let's continue. Silver. Okay, so silver naman, this comes from the Latin word argentum. Argentum, kaya meron siyang symbol na Ag. Okay. Argentum, ibig sabihin shining. Yan yung ibig sabihin ng argentum, shining, bright. Kaya diba kapag nakakita kayo ng silver jewelries or silver made na mga material, yung characteristic niya, bright, shining. Okay, so characteristic niya ng silver. Okay. Then, also, this is considered as luna. Okay, merong mga other references, no, na yung characteristic color ng silver is relative to luna. Luna, that is a moon. Diba? Yung moon kasi, shining and bright silver yung kulay. Okay, yung moon or luna, okay, shining or bright silver yung color. So, bakit light or shining yung kulay ng moon? Kasi 'di ba, saan ba galing yung light ng moon? It reflects, 'di ba, light from the sunlight. Okay, kaya merong light, very good. May light na pinoproduce yung moon. Okay, kasi reflection lang yan ng light coming from the sunlight. Okay? So, bright then, bright, shining then yung characteristic color ng moon. Okay? Next. Ito, may nakasulat, very soft. So, this metal has a very soft property. It is also malleable, yes. Kaya nga, di ba, coinage metal. Okay? It can be hammered into thin sheets. Ductile, it is flexible. Ibig sabihin ng ductile, flexible siya, pwede siyang ma-stretched into thin wires, pwede ma-deformed. For its pharmacologic action, okay, protein precipitant din, okay, protein precipitant in general, kaya nga pwedeng gamitin as germicide. Okay, germicide. Yung mga compounds ng silver. Okay? Meron tayong mga germicides, compounds of silver. And yung mechanism nila as germicide, they precipitate out proteins. And it has oligodynamic action. When we say oligodynamic action, it has the ability to prevent growth of microorganism even at low concentration. Kaya nga 'di ba, kung i-segment natin yung term na oligo. Ibig sabihin ng oligo, few. Oligo means few. Few or low. Okay, so even at low concentration, even at few concentration ng mismong silver compound, meron siyang greater dynamic. Means greater, di ba? Meron siyang activity already. Anti-microbial activity. Okay, so it can prevent growth of microorganism even at low concentration. Yan yung ibig sabihin ng oligodynamic action. Then we have this term sterling silver. Sterling silver is just an alloy of silver. Okay. Particularly, it consists of 92.5% silver, then 7.5% copper. Usually copper yung ina-add para maging sterling silver. But the dominating portion is the silver itself. Okay? Bakit ina-alloy or being combined with other metal yung silver? Kasi nga, as mentioned, it is soft. Okay, it is so soft. So it must be alloyed with a base metal. So halimbawa, very common, very usual is the copper. And again, alloy is formed to provide strength, to provide greater resistance from corrosion. Okay, for the toxicity of silver, it is known as argyria. This is a condition caused by excessive exposure to a chemical compound of the element silver. Okay, or na-expose ka sa silver dust. Okay, due to exposure to silver dust. Okay, so that is the cause of argyria. And most common manifestation by a person with silver poisoning is the staining manifestation. Kasi silver has a staining effect. Okay, meron siyang staining effect. Specifically yung silver nitrate. Okay? Example, yung silver nitrate. Okay, meron yang staining effect. wherein yung skin mo, once na-expose ka with this silver nitrate, yung skin mo will turn purple or purple green hanggang blue coloration. Okay, and the antidote is okay. We have an antidote naman for silver. It's the normal saline solution. What is the main component of normal saline solution? What is the salt? What is the salt contained in the normal saline solution? Very good. It's sodium chloride. O bakit siya pwede as antidote for silver? Bakit siya pwede as antidote for silver? Recalling, silver is part of group 1 cations. Group 1 cations. And what is your knowledge about group 1 cations? They precipitate out in the presence of a chloride groups, diba? Group 1 cations, they are insoluble chloride groups. So they precipitate out kapag may chloride. Okay? Kaya nating ma-precipitate out yung silver chloride. Yung silver in a form of non-toxic silver chloride. Okay, ma-prevent kumbaga yung further absorption ng silver via precipitation of that silver metal. Okay, so with the help of normal saline solution. Okay, so late na yung mga picture. So ayan, yan yung argyria. So as you can see, the staining manifestation sa skin, it turns your skin purple to purple gray hanggang maging blue, no, yung skin. So yan, kapag ganyan, argyria yan. Okay, excessive exposure to silver dust. Okay, silver ng mga metals or compounds. Okay, sige. So let's proceed to the compounds of silver. So let's start with the soluble. Kapag soluble, meaning they can be dissolved in water. Okay, soluble salt of silver. Okay, so we have, ayan, silver nitrate. Okay, this is the most important, the common soluble salt of silver, that is the silver nitrate. Okay, this is also known as lunar caustic lapis infernularis, caustic pencil azotas. Okay. Now with indelible ink, take note, it is a component of indelible ink. I know you are familiar with indelible ink. Indelible ink, that is a component of electoral ink. Diba? Ibig sabihin, component siya ng electoral ink. Kanang kung mag-election, I think naka-vote naman siguro ang uban sa inyo. Naka-try na mo mag-vote. And pansin nyo, kapag nag-vote ka, sa forefinger ng voters, okay, they are being, may stamp dapat, no, sa ilahang forefinger. That is indication na nakapag-vote ka once only. Okay? So, kailangan itong ink. This is in order to prevent, halimbawa, fraud or double voting. Okay, so yan yung importance ng electoral ink during voting. Okay, so yung ginagamit dyan is yung silver nitrate solution. Kaya nagadugay siya matangtang, di ba? Dugay siya matangtang. Dili lang pang 1 day siya matangtang. Okay, but it takes 5 days, okay, to 1 week, ay pa ma-erase yung mismong ink after you vote. Okay, so na staining effect. As I have told you, may staining effect yung silver nitrate. Next, it is used for the treatment of warts. Okay? So ayan ayan yung sa indelible ink. And then for the treatment of warts, ito naman. Okay? So this is a firm wooden stick and it consists of 75% as stated. Ayan, kung ako siya i-zoom, it has 75% silver nitrate. 75% silver nitrate plus 25%, hindi nakita, no? Potassium, that is potassium nitrate. So, ang tawag dito is lunar caustic. Ito yung lunar caustic. Okay, so ito yung ginagamit to burn, to remove unwanted growth of tissue. So yung mga warts, di ba kapag warts, unwanted tissues yan sa skin. Okay? So to prevent or to treat warts, sinusunog siya using this lunar caustic, a wooden stick. Para siyang match, no? Parang mura siyang posporo. So yan. So that contains silver nitrate. Then prevention of ophthalmia, gonorrhea. Pasensya na sa mga kumakain ha. This is a condition ng ophthalmia, gonorrhea, neonatorium. Ito yan. Ophthalmia, gonorrhea, neonatorium. Okay? So that is a condition of conjunctivitis, okay, or what we call pink eye. Pink eye sa mga bagong silang pa lang. Bagong silang na mga bata, no? Yung kakalabas pa lang. Okay? So, ang nangyayari, yung mata nila, okay, pwedeng very prone to conjunctivitis caused by bacteria. Specifically, the bacteria that I am talking about is N. gonorrhea. Okay, N. gonorrhea, nga bacteria, or Neisseria gonorrhea, and or chlamydia. Okay, chlamydia trachomatis. Yan yung mga bacteria, trachomatis. Yan yung mga bacteria na pwedeng mag-cause ng ophthalmia, gonorrhea, neonatorium, or pink eye sa bagong silang pa lang na bata. Okay, kasi during birth delivery, listen, during birth delivery, if ang mother is carrying this bacteria, if ang mother may N. gonorrhea or may chlamydia trachomatis, once i-deliver niya ang bata, pagpanganak niya, it can be passed, it can be acquired by the baby, no? During birth delivery. Kaya, dapat paglabas ng bata para maiwasan, okay, prophylaxis, meaning prevention. Please take note of this term ha, prophylaxis. You have to be exposed with the different medical terms. Prophylaxis means prevention. It's not treatment. Kapag prevention, wala pang sakit. Okay, you have to prevent the sakit. Kung treatment, may sakit na, kailangan mong gamutin. Kaya treatment yung term. So prophylaxis of this condition, kailangan yung silver nitrate, particularly 1% concentration of silver nitrate, okay, is being administered, no, to that neonate, okay, para ma-prevent yung infection na to. Okay, but later nga, it was found out na yung silver is toxic. So medyo hindi na siya ginagamit yung 1% silver nitrate. Kaya after birth, yung usually na ina-administer sa mga bata para maiwasan yung mga certain infection, okay, or mga anticipated infection. Kasi very prone yun na sa infection kapag bata, bagong labas pa lang, bagong delivered na bata. So yung replacement sa silver nitrate is erythromycin. This is to prevent eye infection. Okay, very good. To prevent eye infection. Then we also have vitamin K. Yung vitamin K naman is given after birth for vitamin K deficiency. Okay, vitamin K deficiency para hindi masyadong mag-bleed yung bata. This will prevent bleeding, too much bleeding sa bata. That's vitamin K. And another na binibigay after birth gid sa bata is Hepa B. Okay, Hepa B vaccine. Okay, that is given to the baby. This is naman to prevent liver disease. Okay, liver disease. Kasi nga hindi pa functioning, no, yung liver ng bata. Hindi pa functioning yung liver ng bata. Kaya bigyan niya ng Hepa B vaccine to prevent any anticipated liver diseases. Okay? So, that is for silver nitrate. Ulit, 1%. Meron siyang activity for the prevention of ophthalmia, gonorrhea, neonatorium. Okay. Next. Tapusin ko lang yung sa silver. Toughened silver nitrate or lunar caustic. Ito yung lunar caustic. Okay. Or lunar caustic. Ito naman, combination ito ng silver nitrate and potassium nitrate. Okay? So ito yung removal of warts. Ito yung pinakita kanina na product, yung parang posporo. Ito yun, toughened silver nitrate. This is used for removal of warts. Next. O, ito yung kanina, di ba? O, pasensya ulit sa baka kumakain. Pasintabi. Third, ammoniacal silver nitrate. This is also known as house solution. Okay? Ammoniacal silver nitrate. House solution. Please take note of the other names of all the compounds. Important naman ito, okay, as component of Tollens reagent. Okay, so qualitatively speaking or during qualitative test, para ma-distinguish yung presence, okay, it detects presence of aldehydes or ketones. Okay, aldehydes, ketones, okay, halimbawa, glucose or fructose. Okay, ito ay ginagamit yung Tollens reagent. And again, ang component dito is ammoniacal silver nitrate. So please take note. Para saan si Tollens reagent? It detects presence of aldehydes and ketones. The positive result, kapag na-detect niya aldehydes and ketones, it's formation of the silver mirror. Okay? Silver mirror. Ayan. So ito yung positive result. Kapag na-detect sa test na merong aldehydes, ketones sa product, then it will form a silver mirror at the bottom, okay, at the bottom of the test tube. And, ayan, this is also used as dental protective. Okay, so ayan, kapag ganun yan, pwede gamitan ng ammoniacal silver nitrates. Kasi meron tayong compound, ito nga, yung compound ng silver na to, it is used for the treatment of dental caries. Yung mga itim na, yung may mga itim na sa ngipin, okay? Gi-zoom pag yun ni ma'am, okay? So ayan, so pwede gamitan ng ammoniacal silver nitrate. Okay? So yan yung house solution. Yung house solution specifically is for dental protective. Okay, dental protective. Sige. Next. Aha naman ta. Okay, for this, for the insoluble naman, insoluble salts of silver, okay, we have silver iodide. Okay, insoluble ha, hindi sila soluble in water. So we have silver iodide. Take note, ito yung germicide, meaning ito yung may antiseptic property na silver compound. And then lastly, we have silver proteinate. Silver proteinates. Ito naman, these are a group of compounds that are characterized as colloidal combination of a silver and a protein. Kaya nga silver proteinates. So generally, they are classified as mild, okay, or strong based on their germicidal or irritant properties. Okay, so nagdedepende yung properties nila based on the amount of the ionizable silver present. So just take note of this and para saan sila. Okay, so basahin nyo. Then be familiar. Kapag argyrol, mild silver protein, ito yung antiseptic for the eyes. ENT means eyes, nose, throat. Okay, ENT, eyes, nose, throat. General germicide dito is the color gold. Okay? Sige. So, ayan. Sige, tapusin na natin yung gold para matapos na. Then we will not meet later this afternoon. Okay, gold. This is also known as aurum. Okay, this comes from the Latin word aurum. Kaya yung symbol is AU. Okay, AU. So aurum means shining dawn. Shining dawn. Okay. Kaya nga 'di ba pag madaling araw, parang golden yung feature sa langit. Okay, golden. King of all metals. King of all metals. Then, this is the metal that is most resistant sa corrosion. Okay, most resistant sa corrosion. This is the most malleable, the best metal conductor, the most ductile. Okay, so also is a very precious metal. Kumbaga, kawatunon. Okay, very expensive na metal. Okay? And please take note of its characteristic. The characteristic of gold, yes, although it is very rigid in character, take note it can only be dissolved by the following solvents. We have the agua rehea. Okay, it contains, please take note of the parts. 3 parts HCl, 1 part nitric acid. Please take note of the parts. 3 parts yung HCl, 1 part yung nitric acid. That's for agua rehea. This is the combination acid that can dissolve gold. Whereas the only single acid that can dissolve gold metal, it's the selenic acid. Okay, selenic acid. Okay, so that's for gold. Ayan. Then we have this term purple of cashews. Kapag naman purple of cashews, this is a colloidal gold with combination of stannous hydroxide. That's purple of cashews. And for the toxicity of gold, it's gold dermatitis. It is the allergic contact dermatitis that is caused by gold, wherein kapag dermatitis, yung expected nga characteristic sa skin or manifestation sa skin is may red, okay, reddish or reddened yung skin, swollen yung skin. Kapag dermatitis, dry, itchy skin. Okay? So gold dermatitis kapag na-expose, merong mga allergy no sa gold. Okay? Meron din namang allergy sa mga fake. Okay? Yung mga nickel, fake na mga jewelries. Okay, then antidote for gold, since gold is a heavy metal, so kailangan natin ng chelating agent. Okay, so this is a chelating agent, dimercaprol. Okay, so please take note, chelating agent. It will form complex with a heavy metal gold. So hindi lang naman gold yung pinanggagamitan ng dimercaprol or the British anti-Lewisite metal. British anti-Lewisite metal. Okay, so this dimercaprol can also be used in treating other heavy metals like arsenic poisoning, mercury poisoning, lead poisoning. Okay, so pwede siya for this heavy metals kasi nga meron siyang chelating agent. It forms complex with the heavy metal, preventing the further absorption of this metal. So ito yung halimbawa ng gold dermatitis. As you can see, no, gold na nga yan, pero allergy siya ng gold. Okay, so ito yung dimercaprol solution. Then this will be the last slide ng gold. Okay, so compounds of gold. Okay, so please take note for the treatment of rheumatoid arthritis. Okay, gold, it has been long even before, no? It has been long used even before for the treatment of rheumatoid arthritis. Okay, so we have aura thioglucose, gold sodium thiomalate, auranofin. Okay, all of this are administered IM except auranofin. Okay, I repeat, all of them, okay, are administered IM except auranofin. Except auranofin. Okay, then for the adverse effect, hypersensitivity. Kaya nga glossitis, nakalagay glossitis. Okay, that is an inflammation of the tongue. Okay, hypersensitivity reaction niya. Okay, glossitis, inflammation of the tongue. Okay, sige. So take note ha, ang gold for the treatment of rheumatoid arthritis, kumbaga it can help manage joint stiffness. Okay, or those swelling due to rheumatoid arthritis. So these are the products. Auranofin, the gold sodium thiomalate, okay, and the aura thioglucose. Alright. Sige, do you have questions? Yes, Miss Mala.
Ako lang siyang i-clarify, ma'am, katong examination sa laboratory.
Yes.
Next week to nga Monday, ma'am, or after exam week?
Next week, Monday.
Unsa pud nga
Monday.
time, ma'am?
Bakit? Di ba wala kayong exam sa major sa Monday?
Okay. Isabay lang lugar nimo sa minor, ma'am, nga examination?
Dili, kay whole day inyo hang minor exam?
Na every hapon, ma'am. Tapos pagka mga around 10 kay nami reporting pod.
Sige. So, kamo ba? Pwede rin ako idungan pod sa lecture. So, the same. Kamo lang man pod. So, okay ra sa inyo ha. Dungan gihapon sa lecture. Sa after lecture, then lab. Di ra mo
Ayaw
ma-exhaust.
naman ka, ma'am.
Ha?
Makaya naman ka ang examination sa lab.
Kamo, kung sa ang topic sa ato ang lab, more gihapon siya. Kung sa ato
Ay, sa laboratory na lang nga examination, ma'am, ni mo isabay?
Kamo, okay ra sa ako pod kung gusto ninyo isabay. Kung sa man inyo hang gusto isabay ninyo ang lab. What about Block B? Block B and C. Although dili ako inyong lab, pero gusto mo sabay inyong hangkuan. Dapat man pariha mi og schedule ni Ma'am Panis sa laboratory. Okay ra pud sa ako ila sabay gihapon ang lecture and laboratory. But I have observed man good last time nga ang lecture heavy man good sa lecture. Then pagabot na din sa inyong lab kay kuan wala na mo time ba mag-review. Diretso na din ang lab. So since wala nagtingog, so it's okay nga same lang ang schedule.
Kuha na lang, ma'am, sa Wednesday na lang, ma'am, daw. Kay taas ang time sa Wednesday.
So taas na yung time sa Wednesday.
Oo.
Sige, pwede ra pod. Wala mo lab, wala din mo major nga exam sa Wednesday. Di ba na may perspective? Wala may perspective?
Tuesday ang perspective, ma'am.
So wala may major nga subject sa Wednesday?
Wala. Okay ra daw, ma'am, mga 4 to 5 p.m. sa Wednesday.
Okay, pwede ra pod. Kuha na siya. Universal na siya.
Yes,
Nay, botanilek daw.
Wait. Ay, saan mo? Wait lang, mama. Ako tanawon.
Sige, go. Basta ang among suggestion is dili gid siya idungan ang lab og lek. Kay murag dugay kay mo gakahuman sa lecture mag-exam. Same last time. Unay botany lek. Wala pa mi schedule sa Block D. Same lang ang schedule gyud. Kung unsay schedule sa prelims that was last unsa man tong month, September ba to? Okay, or August ba to ang exam? Okay, so same lang gyapon ng day, ang time. Ang amo lang yung concern is sa lek and lab. Ang inyo hamang pikal, good thing sa inyong pikal kay different ang lecture. Different ang day sa lecture sa pikal, different ang lab na pikal, di ba? Mo ang nahitabo sa inyong pikal. Bantog light lang siya. Ang nahitabo sa wala mi kabantay nga isa ra ka day ang PChem1 and it's heavy kung i-dungan siya. But if gusto niyo dili i-change, okay ra pod.
Ay, kuan daw, ma'am.
So gusto mo
Thursday morning.
Thursday.
Mga 8 to 9.
Okay.
Para medyo taas-taas ang study
sige.
para sa chem lek.
Pwede ra. Pwede ra. Mas lighter mangud ang lab kaysa sa lek. So inyo yung hatagan og time ang lek. Sige. May I ask Block B and C asa na mo sa inyong laboratory? Inyong laboratory, any representative sa Block B or C? Okay. So topic siya sa prelims. Okay. So mura po to inyong hangkuan. So light lang, no? Light lang inyo. So better nga inyo siyang unahon, ang lighter kaysa sa heavy one. Sige. So since murag nagkausaman mo Thursday morning 8 to 9. Sige. Ako yung si Ma'am Panis. 8 to 9. 2 hours. 2 hours ang lab. Kapag 30 items, di ba na pwede siya og 2 hours? Okay, magdepende na siya sa koan. Magdepende na siya sa sa item. Okay, ang kanang 2 hours na gihatag kay kami ang flexible, meron siya flexible nga time. Example sa 2 hours nga 1 to 3. Kami as instructor, kami mamili kung 1:30 to 3 ba or 1 to 2. Depende sa amo ang items pod nga ihatag sa inyo. Kung 100 items, over na pod kay ng 100 items. Okay, tapos online exam. Okay, siguro 2 hours, pero gabi na kay na. Siguro ang sa ako it's 70. Okay, 65 to 70. Kailain man pud kayo taas kaayo ang topic unya 40 items sa akong gihatag. Sa kadaghan ninyo nabasa unya mo ni ma'am wala ni gawas akong gistudyhan. So kung daghan ang topic nga inyo hang gistudyhan, so mag-expect pud mo nga daghan ang mong gawas. Okay? Sige. So coverage for the lecture exam from lay shuttle years. No, so I have discussed about lay shuttle years man, no? From lay shuttle years principle until group 1B. Okay, all are multiple choice. That is the good thing about regular exam. Kapag sa ako nga subject, all are multiple choice type of question. Kapag nag-special exam ka na, no multiple type of questions. So you have to explain critical thinking, gid siya nga type of question, essay type. Okay, sige. And for the laboratory, I will just announce the coverage, okay, for the lab. Kasi may block B and C man. Lahi man ang sa ilaha. Ilang lab. Okay, so walay question sa topic. Sa topic nga gidiscuss. Walay question? Sa iyang nga side, wala. What about sa block? Kani nga Metlink, block AD? What about block AD? So wala. Ayan. Ako sa stop recording. Okay, since wala na questions, I will now dismiss you. We will not meet later this afternoon, but I will give a 10 items nga follow-up siyang test. Okay, with regards to our discussion this morning, it's just a 10 items follow-up test, follow-up test. Alright? Sige. So, I will dismiss you now. Thank you for joining. I appreciate those who were able to join for 3 hours good siya, no, nga session. Okay? So, salamat sa inyong pag-join and sa inyong patience. Okay? Nga biskan kapoy na kaayo, you still manage to join the class. Okay, ako man po, gikapoy man sad ko, pero I am trying my best also para mahuman ang ato ang discussion. Sige. So that would be all for this morning, and have a good day. Good luck sa inyong exam. Next week, break a leg everybody. Okay, sige. So thank you and God bless.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Bye, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Everybody.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Sige, salamat.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Sige, thank you everybody. Yeah, happy lunch. Thank you, Nathaniel. Sige, bye-bye.